Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with James Farley,
Hello.
Sean Bell,
Yo.
and Matt Murray's missing again this week. Cannot wait. There's going to be some cracking bonus episodes coming up, so get ready for those. I think we've got lots to talk about at this point, but it's just the three of us again this week, which means get ready for us to not talk about things you want us to talk about and suddenly start changing directions of conversation and all that.
And we are all knackered this week, is that correct?
Yeah, James is knackered every week.
Yep.
I woke up at 5 o'clock after having a nightmare. I was like a child this morning, Sean. I woke up after having a nightmare, and I was like, I can't sleep because the evil things might come back.
Don't get me again. Yeah. No, that's
40
that's
this year. 40 this year.
I've started tracking my sleep, like using my watch, right? Because I've not done this before. And you know, it's supposed to like track...
He's got a new watch, ladies
I
and
was gonna
gentlemen,
say,
and he's got to try and justify the purchase.
Took him 3 minutes to bring
It's
that.
one of the things. But no, so one of the things that it's supposed to do is it's supposed to track like the time that you do various stages of sleep, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how accurate that is, but I'm pretty certain it's probably not good that every night my deep sleep is under 10 minutes every night.
Fucking hell. That's not good.
That's pretty bad. And I was looking it up and I was like, that's probably why I'm so tired all the time. It's like
you are a doctor if you work that one out. You don't you just constantly have nightmares, James, because of all the cheese you eat?
Not constantly, but it is a problem.
Is that a myth?
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
It
does
thing a myth.
I think not necessarily nightmares, but I think it is supposed to influence things because of the chemicals. I'm just making this up, but that's what I heard.
Dr. James Farley, because of the chemicals.
Yeah.
I mean, please write that down as a possible episode title. Because of the chemicals is a good one. We'd like to start the show by thanking our Patreon producers this month. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights are Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Thomas S, Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Man, Tri-State, Jack Oven, Kenny Loggins, and a returning Full Nels member. It's the wonderful Jonathan Edwards. Thank you so much for going Full Nels. We really do appreciate all the support you show us. And if you can't afford to go Full Nels, then please stop listening. We don't want you. We would rather have 22 listeners and them all being Full Nels than most people getting it for free. No, I'm joking, of course. Patreon.com/TCGS. If you'd like to support what we do, we will bloody stop if we don't get enough money for doing it. That's your warning. That's your warning. All sorts of stuff there, bonus shows and live talks overs and all of that jazz. We did a this was a couple of weeks ago now, but we did a gaming session last time, didn't we? Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
In which James got the ump with us and had a go at us at the end of the stream. So you got that to look forward to if you've not seen that. And
I had a big headache.
A bit awkward.
It was, yeah.
Well, don't take it out on your mates. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Yeah. It's a huge week for us here at TCGS Towers. We have a talks over coming up on Wednesday, and this is not locked behind Patreon. This is free for everyone to watch. We will be watching Game Stars with Ian Lee. This is a 2004 award show that went out on ITV. Someone said, hold on, I've got a reply. Someone said, I watched this when it was on telly for the first time, and they said it was after something, and it really made me laugh because it really sort of put it in that. Here we go. I remember this. I think it was on after CD UK. So this was a prime time. Well, it was sort of a morning show, wasn't it? On a Saturday on ITV, 2004. It was an award show for video games. Ian Lee hosted it. And he's going to sit in and talk over it with us on twitch.tv/TCGSCO. That's our Twitch channel. Please go there. Wednesday, the 2nd of October, 9 p.m. We're going to watch the full show with Ian and discover what horrors we can dig up from the early 2004s. And then if he's got any backstage gossip, because, this stuff might spark memories, and Ian could tell us who how there was sort of backhanders being paid for awards back then, because we all know it happened. We all know it happened. That's it for plugin, really, isn't it? Should we get some feedback from last week's show? I'm assuming they all loved it.
Yeah, they did. Jolly Nice Soup. So I've just finished Emio the Smiling Man, and I think you need to check with James that he definitely finished it, including the bit after the credits. I seem to recall him saying, quote, "It wasn't that dark." If he's done it all and still thinks that, I really think it's time to get him checked out.
Well, okay, so I have finished all of the bits after the credits, and I had when I spoke about that. And on the show, I did say it does get messed up. Like in the after that, I did actually say that. But yeah, it is not pleasant, but it's not. I still wouldn't say it's as bad as people are making out.
Okay.
Can you tell us?
About to go...
Is there any way to tell us without spoiling it?
Not really. I mean, it involves disfigurement and stuff. It's
okay.
Not. Yeah. So
sounds quite bad.
Yeah, it is, but it's not like I don't know. It's not horrendously
you don't get up
bad.
to on the weekend, is it, James? I mean,
I've seen worse. Not in a Nintendo game, to be fair, but I've seen worse. Yeah.
Fair.
I was about to stick up for you and say, yeah, you were. You did say it was pretty rough after the credits, but then you just went on to say, but it wasn't that fucking bad as you're rolling up your golden Virginias. Like, it's... Come on, mate. Is that what they're called? I can't remember anymore. I think it's that. Okay, next bit of feedback.
Marky Mark says, on the bus on a wet and horrible day and listening to the chaos that is James's news. He's just done his stories in the wrong order, and Sean said Scorsese often shot out of order. Everyone shoots out of order. No film is shot in the sequence that you see them in the finished project. It would be insane if they didn't. Lots of love, Marky Mark. So what was really interesting was what happened here was... obviously, I know that.
I know, but you did. What about that? Why are you getting
have you ever seen the cartoon Home Movies?
No.
Not many people have. What I did there was I referenced a cartoon that probably very few of our listeners have seen. There's one of the characters, Jason, just mentioned at one point, is Scorsese often shot things out of order. And I just remembered that and just sort of said it, but in no way made it clear it was a reference. And even if it was, it wouldn't have landed. So,
James?
Yeah.
Do you know what's really convenient? If you make a stupid mistake, just say you saw it in a cartoon that never existed, and say, "Oh, you probably didn't see it. Probably you wouldn't have seen
House, for you guys."
Yeah, I was referencing a show you definitely wouldn't have seen. Don't Google it. Don't Google it.
Look it up.
It won't be there. It will not be there because the internet went down when it was on.
It's really difficult to find that anyway.
Yeah, it was only on tape, and they've all gone. Tapes have all gone mouldy. Ubar says, "Hello, it's me again. Sean, I have not slept for 3 days because of this mishap. Please excuse my sandwich breath. I felt so bad when you read the previous email. Good words
that's an ASMR quote, right? That's a reference to an ASMR video.
Seriously? What? Somebody says, please excuse my sandwich breath.
James, right. So when ASMR first started blowing up, right, there was this one video of this this doctor, and there's so much about this video that I love. One is that he there's bits in it that they probably should have cut out, because he goes to this guy who doesn't seem that intelligent, like the patient, and he goes, "Oh, have you still got feeling in your forehead about here?" He said, because your injury. No, I had an injury on the other side. He went, "Yeah, but then you came in with the cut last week." Oh yeah. That was like, probably cut that bit out. There's a bit where he says, "Clench your teeth," because he's checking his jaw. He says, "Clench your teeth," and the guy doesn't know what clenching your teeth means. He goes like that. It really makes me laugh. And then there's a bit where he leans in and goes, "I'm sorry, excuse my sandwich breath there." But the thing is, because this was so massive when ASMR first started, if you go onto any other ASMR video, it says, like, someone's put in the comments, "Excuse my sandwich breath," like on the thing every fucking time. I suppose, usually the patient and the doctor's supposed to go red face, but in this case, I think I'm the one that went red face. It's like he says that, and people just post it underneath.
I'm trying to remember what the other one. Obviously, there's put a bit of paper on it. Put a bit of paper on it.
It's
not a doc's one, but I need a navy suit for war.
I don't know that one. Is it someone getting measured for a suit?
It's a guy who says he's got it's like an Italian accent or a Spanish. Yeah, I need a navy suit. He's supposed to be saying I need a navy suit for work, but it sounds like he says war. So yeah, you often see comments saying, "I need a navy suit."
Sorry. Anyway, thanks for that, Ubar.
It's going to be one of these episodes, isn't it? It's going to be one of these sorts of episodes.
I'm so sorry.
Good words for you, but as English is not my main language, I had to use a translator and ChatGPT, as you guessed, to write a coherent email. And when I pasted bits in the Google form, yours didn't make it. If I did that right, nobody would have got red in the face, but I suspect only I got red in the face.
Brilliant. Fair enough.
To be short, I love how you make me discover fun games I wouldn't have heard of, like Kunitsugami and SteamWorld Heist 2, just to mention a few, and your streams of building things really opened a new world of hobby to me. To all of you, please know that what was said was all true, though, and you guys really keep me company while I work in my lonesome cubicle. Also, UBAR stands for Email Written by an AI. I'm Carl, but not the one from The Simpsons.
Oh, right. Okay.
Thank you for sending that. I wasn't actually upset last week. It was just funny. Don't worry about it. But yeah, thank you for sending that. It's very kind.
If we're just chucking in random shit like in between these, right? Can I just bring something up that I've been thinking about today? What happened to the podcast today? That's never happened to the podcast before. What happened to the podcast today?
The feed going down?
Yeah, the RSS.
The feed went down.
Yeah.
The RSS feed went down, right?
Yeah.
Because we didn't renew, and we're renewing now. It'd be fine. You don't have noticed this has happened, but but the podcast feed went down. Isn't it strange how this has happened while Matt's off? So when you look back at the stats, and there's like the biggest dip in downloads is when he wasn't on the show. Matt,
yeah, but we all know why that is, though.
Yeah, because he purposely let it run out so it made it look like he's the reason. Sabotage, yeah. It's sabotage. Absolute disgrace. Sorry, next bit of feedback.
Summer Haze says, all right, geezers, the wireless Nintendo patent James was on about is probably a Pokemon thing. Those 180 days will run out right around Pokemon Day when they usually announce new stuff, and Pokemon Sleep uses a person-sensing toy. Appreciate you all, Luke Summer Haze. P.S. You can't make eggs anymore because of yolk.
Hey, we got that when Matt comes back. We got that to address. That's the other reason that's convenient that he's off for so long, isn't it?
Yeah,
he hasn't had to address that's the yoke. Yeah, this is probably a Pokemon thing, James. So well done, mate. You got us all excited for nadding.
I don't think it is. I think it's something to do with the Switch 2, and I think that Luke Summerhaze is wrong about that.
Yeah, that Luke, you're taking that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Do you know what's really annoying about the Switch 2 is that like people were going about 3 weeks ago, people going, no, it's definitely getting announced in the next week or so. And I'd forgotten about that. And now I'm remembering that people were saying that 3 weeks ago and I was getting excited and pointless.
I know,
pointless.
What about all those Spanish journalists? What happened to them?
Yeah. The Spanish maybe it's been announced in Spain.
Yeah, maybe.
And we just don't know it yet.
We can't read the language. We don't know what they're saying. It's just impossible to find
really
out.
Hard to, yeah.
Capone_Adam brackets kitchen. Love the show. I learn something new every week. On the latest episode, I learned that according to James, the Germans never ever clap and will instead decide to bang desks with their fists. I can't help but ask, what do the Germans do in situations where desks or tables are not freely available to bang? For example, showing their appreciation at the end of a wonderful theatre performance or after an incredible encore at the end of a gig.
Okay, I should have caveated this. So they do clap. You know, people clap.
That's the opposite.
Obviously, I made that up.
No, it's not true. No. Okay, but if a desk or a suitable surface is available, they will bang the desk instead. That's the thing. I've been in loads of meetings where it happens. It's a bit off-putting when it first happens.
What do you mean? I can imagine. Claps in a meeting?
No, they do it all the time. Seriously, they do it all the time. Like when they're like announcing something or other, they all start going boom, 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 boom on the table.
What,
does it get you fired up? Is it quite exciting?
I don't know, but it's like,
honestly, is it Wolf of Wall Street? Starts banging on his chest.
I mean, honestly, it is a bit odd because it's like, I've never been in that situation before where people just clap in a meeting for various reasons, but it happens for quite frequently. There's a lot of
you're aware of what I'd be doing in those situations. You know me well enough that I would just go, stop doing that. I can't.
If there's like 30 of them doing it,
I would say that. Can you just stop doing that? Yeah, you can. Stop doing that. That's well annoying.
Got to respect the culture, David.
It's our culture.
You've got to respect the culture. You know?
Do you think they were like when James moved over, like, oh, the English guy's in today. Should we make up like a stupid thing we're going to pretend that we always do?
Seriously,
I've got a feeling that James hasn't. He's not going to work. He's actually joined a cult. Because that is a bit. I don't know, man. Banging.
Yeah, they'll bang on the tables, and then one of us gets like thrown on a fire, and it's
yeah. And then you've got to spin around 3 times.
Yeah, we
put your willy in a pig's mouth. Yeah. All right. No, sorry, that's the Tories. Sorry, I was getting mixed up. I just get them mixed up a lot.
It's you lose track, don't you? Sam H. On the topic of dad games, my dad is probably the epitome of the boomer gamer. He's logged thousands of hours in various flight simulators and has flown around the world in real time multiple times. When I recently moved to Australia, he even followed me in his virtual Cessna. He won't come and visit me on a real plane, though. When I first got driver on the PlayStation, he asked to have a go once, but then proceeded to drive aimlessly around virtual Miami for hours, obeying all of the traffic rules and refusing to give back the controller.
And that is the epitome of like the dad gamer thing, is of like doing like a simulator thing and following all the rules, like exactly, and you have to do that. It's
no, that is wild. The thing is, I've done a long flight in Flight Simulator. It's really fucking boring.
Yeah,
like it's really boring.
Yeah,
you can literally put the pad down onto one side and just walk off for like an hour and come back and go, where am I? Oh, I'm on Mars. But it's just a really, really dull exit. Like I really like what Flight Simulator does. Like I really like it. But it's true, I would boot that game up, fly over places that I know, and then uninstall it again for a year and go.
That's why it's great though, because you're free to just do that, and you can take what you want from it. But if you want to be one of the super serious people, like all that stuff is in there as well. I'm really excited about the new one. We keep forgetting that's like next month.
I got to say as well, the that mission that they did based on the Top Gun?
Yeah.
That was so fucking good.
Yeah, man, it was incredible.
Apparently this has got, the new one's got like loads of those types of things.
Wicked.
Did you ever do that, James?
No, never did.
Amazing. You've got to do it. But please do it on stream. That would be so good. Watching James trying to... Right, so what it is, you're in this like futuristic space jet thing.
I think it's real. Isn't it a real jet?
I thought it was a prototype. It's not an actual real functioning plane. I could be wrong. Anyway.
Can't book a flight on.
No. You're supposed to enter... What is it? Like, you're supposed to...
Basically, you go into like low orbital flight, don't you? Yeah.
That's right. You go into low orbital flight, but you can't just like get in the plane and just point it up. There's like you've got to gather speed by doing all these things, and it talks you through it. Like,
and it's like you get to like a certain height, then you like invert the plane and then go down again, and then back.
To get your speed up and all this sort of stuff. It takes probably about 3 or 4 goes because you will fuck it up a few times. You'll miss one of the things, or you might misunderstand it. Yeah. But when you do it, holy shit, it is fantastic. I love to watch you do that, James. I love to watch it. With a little pilot's hat on. Like one of those
because you like when you do it, it's an amazing feeling, but then you also just think like if this was real and you're like, right, I've done it. I'm in low orbital flight. This is incredible. Also, there is no way of getting out of this alive without completing another series of really difficult. Do you know what I mean?
So you're up there and you're just like,
you're flying across the planet, but you're also sort of trapped.
How do I get out? What if I keep going up to the sun? Do you know what? I'm seeing James in like a nice white shirt with those little side like paddle with those things on his shoulders, right? And like a pilot's hat, but not like a normal size pilot hat. One of the tiny ones that he has to put the string over to keep onto the side of his head, just like at the corner of his head. I want that.
This could happen. It's possible.
Please do. It is really good, and like the music's amazing and stuff. It just like really sells the atmosphere and stuff.
Saying that, he's been promising to do the final boss in Dark Souls 3 for about 5 months, so I can't see this.
I will do it. I'm going to do that on Friday this week, I think. Yeah.
Okay, you've said that everywhere. I mean, that could have been snipped from any of the last few shows.
Last week I was coming back from the UK. Couldn't do it.
Just bin it off. Start the new project.
You were in the UK last week?
Yeah,
oh yeah, you texted me, didn't you? Oh yeah, you texted me. Yeah, I was busy.
You were too good to see me, so it was like
took a picture of himself outside your house and ran off
crying. Joke's on you. I'm in a block of flats. Next bit.
Necromoz. Guys, this is a long one, but it's good. Hi all. You recently talked about dad games, wondering exactly what a modern dad game is in 2024. Not long ago, I made the ill-advised decision to join a very large Facebook group for over 40s dad gamers looking for fellow dads to game with. I didn't find any because they're all mad, but I did spend a few weeks with my ear to the ground on dad game-related culture, so allow me to report back from the front lines. Far and away, the most common dad game, as you'd expect, is Call of Duty. In fact, most posts not directly about Call of Duty are littered with replies asking, is it like Call of Duty, or words to that effect. Second to Call of Duty is an entire creamy trifle layer of bang average open world games. These dads simply cannot get enough of Days Gone, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Sleeping Dogs, Mad Max, Far Cry 6, Mafia 3, and so on. Star Wars
That's
Outlaws.
Not a terrible group of games, though, is it? That's not a bad.
But they're all sort of 7 out of 10 open world games, aren't they? And I love Mad Max, but it's
Sleeping Dogs was great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, but he's right though. It's a 7 out of 10. Sleeping Dogs is good, but it's a 7 out of 10. I mean, you're 100% right. You like Days Gone, but you wouldn't.
I did also. I would say it's also a 6 or 7 out of 10 game.
Yeah.
Star Wars Outlaws was the most recent addition to this list for some, but most of them haven't played it because they already know it's bad because of woke. They like Ghost of Tsushima too, but not the just announced Ghost of Yotei, also because of woke. Following that, we have, quote, whatever game came out this week. Hundreds, if not thousands, of poorly composed, badly exposed photographs of game title screens, usually accompanied by a blurry thumbs up and the just visible corner of a cheap red and black plastic gaming chair. These photos are either posted with a brief comment like, top game, or a 6-paragraph ramble bemoaning how the game only scored a 7 from IGN, but they're not going to let IGN tell them what to think because you can't spell woke without IGN. An excruciatingly popular recurring topic is what I call the anti-Souls-like vibe check. Is Stellar Blade a Souls-like? I don't like Souls-likes. Is Black Myth Wukong a Souls-like? I don't like Souls-likes. Is Plucky Squire a Souls-like? I don't like Souls-likes. While Souls-like fans certainly exist there in sporadic numbers, the tone is genuinely negative towards the genre. This is down to them being hard, which is bad, unlike retro games, which are good because they're hard. This brings us to the next layer of the popularity pile, anything old, which is automatically good because it's old, closely followed by anything with an IP from my adolescence, which is also automatically good, unless it's bad because of woke. For example, the recent RoboCop game is extraordinarily popular. Remakes and remasters are generally frowned upon as lazy cash grabs and are often accused of going woke too, even though the lazy cash grabbing devs didn't charge anything in the process of remastering it because they're so lazy. Or change anything in the process. Soaring above everything I've just mentioned, however, is the dad gamer's favourite game of all time, posting the same fucking shite meme over and over and over and over again, and then creating yet another post to complain about their previous posts being removed. You're guaranteed that if it's the first time you've seen a shit meme, you'll see it again 50 more times before the day is out. The weirdest interaction I've had so far was with a man who followed me from post to post, replying with pictures of his mid-range bean-to-cup coffee machine, which he assured me cost $2,000, in order to, and I quote, show how little he cares. I corrected him on Space Marine 2 not having frame generation at launch.
So he just posts a picture of a bean-to-cup coffee machine every time.
Apparently, yeah. The one glimmer of hope in the group were the mods and admins who actually did a brilliant job of removing all the grim woke bleating and shit memes. But I simply can't understand why anyone would devote your personal time to drowning in tosses while trying to hold back the tide. Anyway,
That's what you've done. That's exactly what you've done.
Anyway, I'm not sure what I learned during my time in the terrifying liminal space between relevance and death, but I don't recommend it.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much for that message. Yeah. I see. There's part of me, apart from the woke stuff, obviously. There's part of me that just likes the idea of a real, like, being into games and not worrying about having to play every single game ever made.
It must be nice, doesn't it?
Just taking
like
it
being into games, but
us.
having like the joy of discovery back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we know everything that's coming out. pretty much.
Yeah, and also just being really angry at how woke everything is. I kind of like the idea of kicking back with a nice stout.
Yeah. just being furious, about things.
I can't imagine it. What is going on? Sitting there going, oh yeah, these video games. I need to get on my Facebook group. Let
the lads know.
Have you seen what they've done? Have you seen what Yves is doing at Ubisoft?
Now?
We'll get on to that in a bit.
I love the fact that they're the sort of people that would absolutely... I mean, they probably wouldn't play the game, but they're the sort of people that'd be so angry about this new Zelda game. Like, absolutely baffled as to why you're playing a Zelda in a Zelda game for a change. It's, anyway, thanks for that. You have not convinced me to go back on Facebook.
No.
Although I might have to soon. More on that later. Next.
It was next. Dean says, "Dear Tokyo Computer Game Show, halloumi style cheese. Halloumi is a trademarked entity owned by the government of Cyprus and has a protected designated origin status in the EU, meaning only cheese made in certain bits of Cyprus, certain methods and certain formulations can be called halloumi. Everything else can only call itself halloumi style cheese, even though it's obviously halloumi. The UK tried to do this with cheddar, but the horse had bolted, and instead we ended up protecting, quote, West Country farmhouse cheddar, which nobody buys, because we all just buy our preferred brand of cheddar. I don't know why I know this. I accept my award for most boring correspondence. Keep up the good work." Dean.
James, can I ask you a cheddar question?
Go on.
That's right, listeners. One of those shows.
I've got a cheese fact as well, but go on.
When, in terms of, oh God, we get to that point. Don't you worry about that. Don't let me forget that, Sean. I need that cheese fact. Cheddar.
Yeah.
What sort of strength do you like?
Like extra strong.
Like what? Like as mature as you can possibly
as mature
get?
As possible, yeah.
Why? I don't get
like
it. It's all crumbly and horrible and.
I like the flavour, but then also, conversely as well,
it's like just
quite
eating
nice.
a coffee bean.
No, but it can also.
It.
But also it can be quite nice to have a very mild one as well, because then you can shave off bits of that, put it on some bread under the toaster. It's a nice cheese on toast. And it's sometimes a mild flavour is more suitable than a stronger flavour, but often I prefer a stronger flavour.
Yeah. Okay, love the right now. I want to hear this. I want to hear this fact. I bet it's incredible.
It's all right. So cheese broadly is made by like cheese making companies, or whether it's like a company like Muller or whatever. Fucking like it's separate from the farm, right? The farm.
Okay, you're losing me. You're losing me.
The milk, and then the milk gets sent off elsewhere to be made into cheese. The farms used to produce the milk until World War II, when the government went, right, cheese is really fucking important now. We don't want farmers doing this in an inefficient way. So you send all your milk to like other places to get made into cheese. And that's how that sort of whole structure changed. So it used to be that when you would get cheese, it would be from a specific farm. But that all sort of went away. And now it's a bit all sort of homogenized in the UK now.
Okay, with the next bit of
feedback. We can move on. Neil says, I just wanted to make Dean feel better, really. Like, it could be worse, couldn't it?
I also want to know how many people passed that fact on this week. If you pass that fact on in the office or to a pal, please get in touch and let us know what response you got.
It's one of those, you got to wait for the right moment.
You got to wait for the right moment.
Obviously.
Just stand up on a bus and start shouting it at the top of your voice. I told you about... No, I'm not going to. I told you about when I was on a bus once and I decided that I finally needed to get a car and drive to work.
I remember that.
When a woman walked on the bus and started screaming at the top of her lungs, "I shat on a baby! I shat on a baby!" over and over again. And... Did I say that?
Wow.
One of those shows, baby. Next.
Neil says, "As you're now giving shout-outs, can you please give one to John Sturt, who had a birthday on Saturday?"
Hey.
I know he goes full Nels around his birthday. So that's Jonathan Edwards, isn't it?
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's Jonathan Edwards, yeah.
He goes full Nels around his birthday each year, so no, he should be listening. We've given his run of vet bills recently. I don't know if he'll manage it. He had a very low-key one this year, so hopefully this will pick it up a bit. Keep up the good work and tell him to always surrender. Neil's size 13 spatula. I've forgotten the others and I'm at work.
Happy birthday, Johnston. Round of applause
happy birthday,
for Johnston for another year on
the aging.
Again,
well
James is taking a really... Shouldn't you be banging on a fucking desk?
Well, I would, but that'll upset Sean because of the edit.
That's a very good point. That is a very good point. Happy birthday, John Star. Sorry to hear about the nurse, the vet bills and stuff. I apologise, obviously, but that can't be for good reasons.
Yeah, I know the feeling, mate.
Do ya? Are you going through stuff at the moment?
Yeah, remember I was going to talk about it on the last bonus show, and then it was.
We
didn't really have time, and also it's fucking gross. So
yeah, it sucks.
Basically, one of our dogs was just walking around with just an open wound for about 2 weeks.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, it's good stuff. As recommended by the vet, we just had to leave it. That was the recommended course of action.
Nice.
Okay.
Last bit
Always
of
surrender. Always surrender.
Always surrender. Sorry, I did a burp earlier and I had a bit of acid reflux, and I'm just going to read one more bit of feedback.
We are getting fucking old.
And then we're
getting fucking old. What is that, Sean? We are when I said I don't really want to be like in my 60s podcasting about video games, right? Maybe I need to drop a couple of decades because. Sorry there, everyone. Sorry, listeners. I just had a little bit of acid reflux, so I'm just dealing with that situation at the moment, and I'll get back to the worst, though, isn't it?
It's horrible acid reflux.
It is unpleasant. Yeah. The Good Wizard Moonbeard. I'm just going. So basically, I'm going to read.
Like when you wake up in the middle of the night with it, and it's like.
Oh no, I don't have that.
Do you know what that did to the atmosphere? Do you know what that did to the atmosphere? It was like Tarrant on TV when he showed the really serious one in the middle of it. It all just went quiet. And he sort of just stares at the screen, at the camera. That was what that was like then. Yeah, but it is really bad, isn't it?
Yeah,
okay, last bit of feedback.
Not really a laughing matter, actually. Now that I think about it. The Good Wizard Moonbeard says, James, I seem to remember rather clearly that your thoughts on Plucky Squire were first expressed on the Player One podcast. Since I'm on a roll here, I thought I'd let you know that we cartoons have feelings too, right? So consider that when you're insulting the words writers have made us say. Whatever, James.
Yeah, James.
That's not. It's not accurate because we recorded the show before that came out.
Yeah, and also James and I were trailblazers on not liking that game because we were talking about it on WhatsApp for a good week before the episode was recorded.
Were you in that situation where you were privately messaging each other about not liking it?
Yeah, we were.
I thought it felt like a bit of a coordinated attack. And what I love is that James does that thing where he's like, I don't hate it, but here's everything I hate.
He's a big list.
This is why I hate it. How much
it's true, isn't it? It's just there was more in the negatives column than the positives.
Well, no, I think with you, what I've noticed with your games criticism, James.
Go on.
If you will allow me to analyse your
critique away. Go on.
You either love something or you fucking hate it. Like, there's no in between there.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I mean, I've got in between today, so it's like I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, there's a little plug there. Yeah. That's it for your feedback, is it, Sean?
Yeah. If you want to leave us feedback, go to tcgs.co/Dear TCGS, although not too much of it, please, because my voice is getting sore.
Mate, just as much as you can. We got loads this week, and it was great watching the emails go nuts. So please do get in touch. It makes us sound and feel popular. News, James Farley.
Yeah, so there's been two events.
Sorry, before you start, I'm 90% sure Isaac's just got up. I don't know if you want to pause or you want to just carry on.
We'll pause.
Be as quick as I can. Love you.
Yep. Take time. Love you. Bye. Hello, chat.
I've got this weird thing with the stream chat. It doesn't update for me. It's strange. I have to keep doing like hide it and then show it again for it to refresh. Weird.
Yeah, mine's been fine. Are you using Safari?
No, I'm using Edge.
You use Chrome.
Do you think it makes a difference?
Yeah, I reckon it makes a lot. I had a lot of trouble with vid.ninja until I switched to Chrome, and it's way better. Has Matt got a tattoo date booked yet? No, Matt is going through some stuff at the moment. There's nothing don't worry about it. It'll be all right. But I messaged the tattoo artist and said, yeah, there's be a bit of a delay. So we'll get to it, but we've not got a date. Any more questions? You can ask us anything. Should we do an Ask Us Anything? What they call it? Ask Us Anything?
AMA. Yeah.
AMA. Ask me anything. Yeah, that's right. Do that. Favorite Nirvana song? Holy shit! What a question.
That is a very tough question.
That is a doozy. That.
Oh. See,
The one. She fucking hates me. Trust. She fucking hates me. La 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 love. That one. That's my favorite Nirvana song.
Okay.
He knows me too well now. He knows me too well.
False alarm. It's fine. It's just the neighbour being noisy, I think.
That's all good. James, can we have a show and tell of the cheese lockbox? The lockbox is gone, right?
Yeah, the lockbox is gone.
Was it?
James smashed it up in a fit of rage.
I'll tell you what. I had severe, just now. I had strong willpower to stop myself from doing something because I looked in the fridge. There was no cheese in the fridge earlier today, and then I looked in there and I spied a new block of cheese, and I nearly opened it and took some, but I didn't.
Took some, just squirrel, put it in your pocket. For later.
It's terrible. It's really terrible.
Sitting at the top of a tree like that.
Yeah.
What was it? Right, let's go through these quickly before we go back. What did you have for lunch today? I had a Tesco's meal deal deli meat sub, salt and vinegar crisps, and a Pepsi Max. James?
I had a croissant because that's what was in the fridge. Yeah.
When in Rome. Sean?
Fuck, what did I have for lunch today? God, I don't remember. That's bad.
Okay, moving on. People that have ready meals at lunch. Loads of people in my office have ready meals at lunch, like hot meals and stuff.
Really?
Never got that.
Yeah.
I'd only do that.
Lunch.
I had packed lunches and not school dinners when I was at school, so I'd
only do that
if a sandwich and pack of crisps.
I'd only do that if I was not gonna have something for meal
in the
evening or
for
something.
dinner. Yeah.
It's a bit weird.
I remember now.
Farley does Bloodborne. Have you done Bloodborne?
No, I've never done Bloodborne.
You've never done Bloodborne? Bloodborne's fucking good.
That's one of the best ones.
Yeah.
So people say.
Sorry,
one day.
What you saying?
We had leftover chicken Kiev, so I did that with some roasted veg and some chips.
Nice.
Oh man, mini Kievs were the bollocks when we were growing up. I went through a phase in my 20s where I said to Joe, I just want mini Kievs this week. for a couple of months, she bought little packets of mini Kievs, and I went, can you stop? Yes, they aren't nice.
Have you ever had chicken Kiev at a restaurant?
Yeah, and it's really, it makes you angry. It's
go on.
This isn't like a mini Kiev.
That was because I ordered one once, and I was like, what if this is just like a supermarket one, and that's just what Kievs are like, and why would I expect any different? But no, the one I had was phenomenal.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah.
What's everyone's take on chili and lime as a flavour combo? I'll go for that. I'm up for that.
Yeah.
If it's on a crisp, I'll go for it.
Fine. Why do some people like dead against that or something?
Oh, there's always are. It's woke, isn't
it? Yeah.
That's the
what
thing
does the
with
mini
people.
chief eat?
Mini cheddars. They're massive.
They're just normal cheddars to me.
They're fucking huge cheddars.
Don't know if I ate some. Right. Okay. Right. That's it for the chat. Right. Let's. Okay. I'm just going to say James news again. Ready? Okay, James. Time for the news.
Well, we've had 2 events from the last week. Although one of them I didn't even know had happened until I saw it on the news.
I mean, you could be forgiven for
and that
massive event.
First of all, we had the PlayStation State of Play, which I mean, this is the one, David. You were bigging this up because you thought this was going to be massive, yeah? And
no, until I heard it was a State of Play, and I said, actually, it's going to be really disappointing. In my defence, when I thought this was their big thing,
the showcase,
it's not a showcase. But it did start with some excellent news, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, so we kicked off with some Astrobot DLC, so we're getting 5 new online speedrun levels, and also 10 new bots to rescue, and that's coming this autumn, so that's pretty cool.
I really pissed myself off with this game. Really upset myself with this game. Because I saw this trailer, and I was like, oh man, Astrobot. So I booted it up and did the 7 things that I needed to get a platinum on it.
Yeah.
And I hated myself because it was not enjoyable.
I know, because they're also just easy, aren't they? They're not. There's no sort of real challenge to any of them either.
No, one of them was like jump through the ring in this level. So I just went onto a YouTube video and Googled that, and they went go here and then jump through that ring. All right. So I did that, and it was like bling. You get the. I hated myself for doing that. It's everything I hate about that shit. But I just wanted to play something that was Astrobot related.
So these speedrun levels, knowing nothing about the game, are they just enjoyable as levels, but also there's a time trial mode? Or... Okay.
No, well, yeah, they're satisfying to play, but basically they're what was in the original game. So the original game, the sort of free one, the packing game.
Right.
You had these time trial things. They are brilliant. Like, they are genuinely brilliant. Like, they're instant. So if you die, you instantly go back to the start.
Right, yeah.
There's enough shortcuts to take along the way to sort of shave seconds off. It's really good fun.
I mean, I assume this is going to be like similar to the cross and square and triangle kind of levels. Yeah, that it'll be like that. Really.
No, the last ones weren't that difficult. It was more about just finding new ways to get up the platforms and shave seconds off rather than challenging. There was some challenging bits in them, but it was more about it was more about just speedrunning stuff and all that. It still makes me laugh how, what was it, at the start of the year we were talking about Astrobot, and I said, oh yeah, I've mentioned the speedrunning stuff, and Matt went, yeah, you might want to go and check the leaderboards on that. And I was like, shit, I haven't booted that up for ages. So I checked, and I was still top on all of them. Fuck you, Matt. So yeah, I will definitely play these for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming quite. I mean, we don't know the exact date, but it is coming autumn, so that's pretty good. Then we had the Midnight Walk, which is a claymation game from the creators of Lost in Random,
like Harold Halibut. A little bit like that.
Yeah, a lot more freakish though. It looked amazing.
Yeah,
I never played Lost in Random. I think it was a bit of a sort of 7, 8 out of 10. It was an EA original, wasn't it? It was one of the sort of EA published indie games. But no, this looked beautiful, I thought.
And it's also it's PS5 and PSVR 2 as well. But I'm not sure how that works. Maybe that's going to be a bit like with Moss, where it's like kind of like the perspective and everything, which would be. Yeah, that's all right. Give that a go. But I thought this looked pretty good though. No release date, but I thought it looked pretty cool.
Too spooky for me, but yeah, it looks incredible. I thought.
Who's this published by?
Well, the studio is Moonhood Studios, but I don't know who the publisher is.
Okay, all right.
Then we had Hell Is Us, which is like a third-person action game. That this trailer, I honestly felt was a bit off-putting.
It was weird.
The start of this trailer, because it set a tone which then it didn't really persist with, and also I kind of felt, given what's sort of going on in the world at the moment, it felt a bit not very nice. Like bodies,
lots of imagery
and stuff
of war,
like that.
War, yeah.
And then it was like, it's like a sci-fi Souls-like.
Yeah, like sort of supernatural, like kind of thing where there's like hell beneath, earth and everything, which is fine. But it was just a bit of a weird sort of jarring tonal shift, between this looks like it's some sort of realistic depiction of the horrors of war kind of thing, and then suddenly it becomes
also there's a laser sword.
Yeah, it's odd, but I guess we'll see what happens with that.
Not a good title as well. Hell Is Us.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't like it.
It was a bit.
The game might be good, obviously, but.
I mean, what should I do? Do you want me to go through?
John's got one of those things where he hates like holes in things. I can't remember.
Oh, it's like triphobia or whatever.
Trypophobia.
Yeah, my fucking hell. Even the main bad guy in this looks, even to me, I'm like, ugh, that thing. No, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to go through all of these because there's quite a lot?
We can just do highlights, right?
I mean, okay, so we got like Metro Awakening VR. That's coming 7th of November. I'm quite looking forward to that.
VR, are these meta games or are they?
No, I think there's a lot of like actual just PSVR 2 stuff.
Wow,
look
at this!
Yeah, they finally someone told Sony they've got a VR headset out.
Yeah,
nothing first party, but still there are some things that are coming to it, which is okay.
There's a reason why James keeps saying that, by the way, and I know that reason.
What's that?
Nothing first party.
Oh,
Haven't you got a prediction that they won't release a single first party PSVR 2 game or something?
Been right so far, but yeah.
Okay.
Then we had Pal World. That's out now on PS5, but not in Japan.
But not in Japan, yeah. I wonder why.
Which is interesting. Then we had Luna Remastered. It's another RPG series collection. DLC for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. That's out now.
Right, so Shredder's Revenge was the one that came out last year or the year before?
Last year, I think. Yeah.
It was last year.
Fucking really good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. We still play it. I mean, Charlie walks around the flat going, I need to focus my mind. Do you know why?
Yeah,
because that's what Splinter does when you press the button and you've got no energy to do the special move.
Which he spams all the time.
I also actually see that as well, and I was like, please, could you stop doing that?
Is it really?
Saying that because he hasn't got...
That sums up Charlie, by the way, as well. Yeah. You've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you're picking Splinter. Like, what are you doing with pick one of the turtles for Christ's sake? Okay.
Yeah, and then we found out that Sonic X Shadow Generations is getting a 3-movie pack. Because of Sonic 3, that's coming with Keanu Reeves voicing Shadow, and that's coming soon.
Well, he's voicing him in the movie as well, and I don't think we've mentioned this, but have you seen the trailer, James, for Sonic 3?
No, I've not actually seen it yet. No,
it looks fucking brilliant.
Really?
I'm not even joking.
But I'm a bit worried because it's got Shadow in it, isn't it? And Shadow's always been a bit.
Watch the trailer; it looks genuinely good. Like, I'm hoping it lives up to it.
The thing doing the rounds, Jim Carrey's Wikipedia page.
No.
But it's on this date, he announced his retirement from acting, and then there's like a quote. He's like, if I'm ever going to come back to acting, it needs to be something I really believe in, or something really, really resonant. And it's like 2 weeks later, he announced he was reprising his role as Robotnik in Sonic 3.
I genuinely think that trailer looks amazing. It makes the film look amazing. I hope it lives up to it. And it come out a week or so before the Minecraft trailer.
Yeah,
we never talked about that, did we?
No, it didn't look great.
Yikes!
I didn't hate it, but I feel like I'm very much in the minority because even my kids looked at it and just went, "Why are they doing it like this?" Like, it was really what Charlie went. That looks so weird.
I mean, I get the argument that Minecraft story mode already exists, right? There's already a Minecraft, it's a whole series. Apparently, it's good, and it 100% looks like Minecraft. So if you want that kind of already exists. So I understand them wanting to do something different. But you've seen the stories about apparently Jason Momoa's just been a total prick on set and stuff. He's just not good.
Seen all that. But definitely check out the Sonic 3 trailer because I think that looks brilliant.
Then we had some more RPGs. Like Fantasian, Neo Dimension, Dragon Age: The Veiled Guard, and
we're not skipping over Dragon Age. I've got a good feeling about this all of a sudden.
Really?
I've been I've been one of those people that's just like the BioWare magic is gone, forget it. I did not have high hopes for this, but everything I'd see about it, I'm really fucking excited. I'm really quite surprised, and now I'm suddenly like, fuck. What if BioWare's back? What if that's a thing again?
I mean, I hope it is good because aren't they working on Mass Effect as well?
Well, we've said this for 2 years now. Aren't they working on Mass Effect? We've not heard or seen anything. Come on. I really want a new Mass Effect. I really want one, and I want it to be good.
One.
Well, if this is good and it sells, then we can probably assume that new Mass Effect game is happening, right? So fingers crossed.
I fucking hope so.
I sort of, because I was like watching the footage of Dragon Age Veilguard, and I was like, oh god, yeah, wouldn't it be nice if Baldur's Gate 3 was a laugh? Baldur's Gate 3, it's incredible. It's fucking miserable.
It's not particularly funny, is it? At any point, I don't think really.
The whole tone of it is just really
Baldur's
sad.
Gate 3.
Yeah, man. It's it starts off all a bit.
The one that came out last year that everyone was going ballistic for.
Yeah.
I've seen loads of really funny clips of that.
Yeah,
of,
but it's not...
people booting squirrels and that.
That's what I mean. It's all the humour is like rooted in fucking cruelty.
It's like the player agency doing things, you know.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you've got the freedom to be a total arse if you want, and like, okay, that's funny for a bit, but it's the general tone of the game is just like people are being fucking tortured and dismembered and what have you constantly.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
bizarre.
yeah, okay.
Got stuff
I suppose
burrowing
that's
into
how
your
it
head.
starts, isn't it? Because I did that bit at the start, and it was a bit like, ugh, this is all grim.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Although Moomin Biscuit in the chat's just pointing out you can have sex with a bear. It's not actually a bear; it's a man.
Yeah, but that's
turned
not
into a bear, which is fine, obviously.
Right.
Go on, James.
Then we had Alan Wake 2
That's
DLC.
the old workaround.
That's how they get
you. That's how they get you.
Yeah, so Alan Wake 2 DLC, The Lake House, coming in October. So this is the second DLC I think for that. Our game of the year from last year. So that's probably worth a look.
This looks incredibly spooky though, whereas the last one was a little bit silly, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, doesn't matter. Don't play it, Sean, and fucking vote for it as game of the year, mate. Who gives a shit?
It's a very good game. Then we had Hitman: World of Assassination, which is coming to PSVR 2 this December.
And that's all we can say about that.
Bonus show is going to be incredible, baby.
Then we moved on. We got remasters of Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2.
This leaked earlier in the day, didn't it?
It did, yeah. It was on the store, wasn't it, I think?
I'm sort of excited. I'm a big fan of Soul Reaver games. What's weird is it's just Soul Reaver 1 and 2, whereas so after that there was Legacy of Kain Defiance, which that sort of completed Raziel's story arc, which is not included in this. Which is odd, but I can't remember if there's maybe a change in publisher or something. So it might just be like a weird rights thing that meant they couldn't remaster that as well. I don't know, but yeah, quite cool that they've done this.
Then we had Fear the Spotlight, which is a horror game that has the sort of like...
At what point did you decide to go back to just naming all the games again? What's happening?
Well, no, that was the thing. We said like, are we going to go through the whole list? And then, then... But...
So Fear the Spotlight, what is it? Because I'm looking at the trailer now and it looks like some sort of PS1...
Yeah, it's a PS1 style graphics, kind of like horror game.
One of them that they have now.
But then that's the worst era. No one wants to play PS1 looking games anymore.
Apparently they do. It's huge, especially in horror, like indie horror stuff.
Matt always likes these.
Huge over here, mate. In TCGS...
Yeah, no one's really like horror.
Again,
Matt always seems interested in these ones that are like PS1 style.
Pretends. He says it. He doesn't mean it. You can tell.
Okay. Lego Fortnite.
Yep.
No.
Well, it's good. Well, I mean, Lego Fortnite's already a thing, but they're adding
split screen mode,
multiplayer. Which, to be fair, that like me and Isaac will get some mileage out of that. The Lego survival stuff's pretty good.
Why do you need split screen though? Can't you just like so?
I can't just play on multiple consoles. Fucking hell. Dave.
What? You could.
Some people have only got one console.
No, I'm asking for you, your use case, not everyone.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like you've got an Xbox, do it on Xbox and PC and all that stuff.
Right?
One of my favourite things to do now at the moment, I've mentioned this before, is Charlie goes in the bedroom, plays it on Switch. Harry goes in the front room, plays it on the Xbox, and I bring the PS5 in here, and it's like a LAN party in my flat. And Joe is like, "I've married incorrectly. I've died. My kids are ruined," and she's right. But at the same time,
you're having a great time.
That does sound sick.
We're having a great time until blink. Oh, my friend from school has just joined us. And I'm like, turn the PlayStation off instantly because I don't want to be... Who are you playing with, son? I'm playing with Harry's dad.
Well, I've told you, Isaac's asked if he can start playing Monster Hunter. And I'm like, mate, I would love nothing more, but you will not enjoy it yet.
Yeah, it's too hard, right?
There's way too much to it.
I mean... I do occasionally log it because Asher's got like a Minecraft realm that he plays with people from the UK, and they've got like a whole like a big world map there. I do occasionally log into his account and then
because I know that he goes into the account and starts fucking destroying.
No, I don't do that. I do stuff like
guarantee that he does
do stuff
that.
like the other day I did this thing where I dug like really deep into the ground, and then I like built like a kind of like weird sort of shrine kind of thing. and then like with all like flaming torches and things, and then just saved it and quit. Because then I knew that when he'd start up and he'd be like, "What is this?" and he'd be shocked. And yeah, he was. It was good.
All right.
You're awful. You're an awful person.
No,
So I go to a server, right, with Yves and all his mates and start putting
they're
up
not there. There's no one
burning
there.
effigies on there.
There's no one there. It's just me. It's just me. Okay. And I do it when they're not there. Yeah.
Just
watching.
I'm not accusing you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, next game. Dynasty Warriors. We'll not talk about that.
Yeah, we are. It looks
What?
fucking
It's the
sick.
It's the one that we like. It's
It's going back to its roots after they did that one game where they tried to do things differently and it was shite.
Yeah. No, they need to go back to the roots. I would like to play this one.
Yeah, I'd really like a new
for a while. There does need to be a good few years before I play one again.
Yeah. You don't need to. No one, even if you really like Dynasty Warriors, you don't need to play every single one. You can just
the one that I want. The thing that I want from Dynasty Warriors is it for the console to fucking start like the fans. You can hear the fans the loudest they've ever been because the console's going. This is too much now. Calm down. And I just want a million enemies flying off into the distance with one swipe of a sword.
What I love is that it's like, oh, Dynasty Warriors Origins, and you just know it's going to be Mission 1, the Yellow Turban Rebellion. Every time.
What a weird fucking series that is. It must sell enough. It must.
It does well enough. It's such a
does,
shame because obviously was it Dynasty Warriors 9 where they were like, right, no, this is it. We know we need to innovate. We need to change things up. And they did, and it was like, it's open world now, and you can sneak into camps and blah, blah, blah. And just apparently it was absolute dog shit. No one liked it. Never mind.
Yeah, no, I just want to batter shit.
All
right.
After playing Hyrule Warriors, I just was like, I can't ever play another one of these. It's just, it's fine,
Yeah.
Anyway, Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh, mate. I'm so fucking excited. So there was on top of what... Go on.
Sorry, is this the Switch game coming out for...
No. This is Wilds. This is the sort of sequel to World, really.
Oh, I thought this was... Right, okay.
It sounds absolutely phenomenal. What I really like about it is that for all the streamlining they've done with Monster Hunter over the series, which has been very necessary, it's sort of started losing the sense of like living off the land, right? So like in earlier Monster Hunter games, you could be dropped into an area and be like, right, I've got no items or anything, but I know if I gather herbs and honey, I can make mega potions. If I gather this, that, and the other, you can build up your inventory that way, right? You kind of don't need to do that anymore because you just like, well, every time I go to town, I can just buy stuff. It's not really important. Like you can still pick stuff up, and it's just not really as necessary as it has been in the past. What they are doing with this one is it's sort of like you go back to town occasionally, but now it's like when you go out, it's like you're on safari, like you're out for days and you camp out and you'll do like loads of hunts while you're out, rather than just being like, right, choose a hunt, okay, you go out, now you're back to town, and that just being a constant back and forth. Now it's like you're off out for a while, and it just sounds amazing. I'm really
you're like
excited.
going out on a big old expedition,
exactly. Yeah. Sounds sick. So I'm incredibly excited. There was, if anyone's fussed, there was a longer presentation about this at the Capcom showcase at TGS, but we'll get onto TGS stuff in a bit.
Yeah,
we will.
Then partly, yeah. Then we had, obviously Horizon Zero Dawn remaster. I mean, no one cares about that, or Lego Horizon Dawn either. Presumably,
I feel bad for Lego Horizon because it looks gorgeous, but I just don't really know who it's for. I feel like if you're going to make a Lego game, you surely need a much broader property than a successful but weirdly divisive.
They did really well. Apparently, these games do well, and I'm wrong for questioning it.
And they do it. It's funny because then also like today we found out like they're not. Well, there is going to be a third one, obviously in the series, but it's going to be a long way off. But the next game is Horizon Online, which is going to be another games as a service game.
I mean, if that's I don't know if that's roaming about an open world hunting robots with your mates. I can think of worse ideas. But then does that studio want to be tied to a service game when they've got big, expensive single-player games?
Well, I assume it's not that studio as such, you know.
Apparently it
we'll
is.
See.
It's
I mean, it's probably under that name, but they would have set up a specific team to be dealing with all this stuff. I just, I'll be interested to see if the games as a service stuff sticks with Sony, because I think they've been kicked up the arse a couple of times over this. So we'll see.
Well, they had the big success with Helldivers, then they've had this, then Concord, and then I think whatever comes next.
Helldivers was being worked on before all this games as a service stuff comes about.
Yeah, right? I think Arrowhead were always doing Helldivers too, weren't they? I think it was part of some grand scheme.
Yeah, James.
All right. I thought it was Jim Ryan's idea. Didn't know that it wasn't.
What else?
Then finally, there was Stellar Blade, but who cares? Then finally, we
had...
Well,
you do, because it's Stellar Blade, the game that you... Oh, no, did you... Yeah, you loved Stellar Blade, didn't you?
I liked Spell. You see, again, I didn't love it. I liked it. I thought it was quite good.
I don't know.
But they're putting Nier Automata stuff in it, but then there's Nier Automata stuff in fucking everything these days. So
photo mode as well, James. You'd be loving that, wouldn't you? You filthy little shit.
It's absolutely outrageous. It had a very good combat system. It had a good combat system.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. You pervert.
But finally, it's not out of order. Finally, the big reveal for 2025 is Ghost of Yotei, which is coming, next year. And it's not clear yet whether this is a full-blown sequel or whether it's like a Miles Morales, sort of game.
I would mind a more focused version of it. I think it is a full sequel. That's the feeling you get from it. But I'd be happy if it was a little bit more condensed and focused version of that game, because I did start Ghost of Tsushima and didn't get into Tsushima. Didn't get into it because I wasn't in the mood for an open world game at that point, and it felt like it had that big intro where you're running through that battlefield and it's teaching you all the basics and stuff. And I was like, I really need to be into this if I want to get over this hump.
Because it doesn't properly come into its own for quite a while as well.
Yeah,
it's when you
wouldn't have lasted yet.
Like Ghost of Tsushima is one of those games that I can criticize for a long time, but I really liked it and I did finish it and I found a lot to love about it. Yeah. But yeah, when it really sings is when you're being Batman, where you are like you're using your stealth, you're getting into combat with people, but then you're using a smoke bomb and then assassinating a bunch of them and then going back into stealth. It's that it's not like you're invading an enemy base. Oh, you've been spotted. Right now, you have to fight everyone. It's like, no, you fight the people who saw you, and then you can fuck off again. And then it's that constant in and out of stealth stuff is really, really good.
And then the characters walk around with an orange question mark above their head instead of a red one, and they go, "Huh? I guess they're not here anymore." Huh?
Exactly.
Did you hear that? They must have gone.
Must have been the wind.
I hope they don't come back.
But exploration was great in that game as well. Like exploration was really good in that game. It was a really fun map to explore and just sort of
and visually, obviously, it's absolutely still absolutely stunning. It hasn't aged at all. What I find really interesting about this one, so the Ghost of Yotei, and they show Yotei Mountain in the trailer. So it's different protagonist.
Don't we know about it, mate?
Well,
because the bloody liberals, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, so Yotei Mountain is in Hokkaido, which is the northernmost island of Japan, right? And this is set in, I think it's the late 1600s, which is really interesting because at that point, Hokkaido wasn't part of Japan. So back then it was home to the Ainu people. And I think it was the late 1800s, Japan finally annexed it and just fucking erased Ainu history completely, as far as I'm aware. Apparently there are people alive today with Ainu lineage who don't even know because it's just been so totally obliterated. But
I'll stop you there, Sean. How do you know that?
How do I know it? Because I looked it up.
What, this week, recently?
Yeah, because I was just interested in what the setting is going to be.
I love to. The way you just come out with that, I was like, I wish I could come out with stuff. Hey, listen, just actually the history behind it. I'm like, fuck, I can never do that.
No, I don't know.
Even if I looked it up last
like...
week, I'll get it wrong. I get it. Do you know what I mean?
No, just because Ghost of Tsushima told a bit of Japanese history. Well, it's not that it's not fucking documentary, obviously, but dealt with a situation, part of Japanese history I was not aware of. So, what's really interesting is Ghost of Tsushima was it was the Mongols were invading this southern island of Japan. However, if it's sticking with the theme of like the ghost is repelling foreign invaders, it could well be that in this you are not Japanese, you're an Ainu, and actually the Japanese are the foreign invaders, and they're the colonists that you might be resist. So I don't know, but I think that'll be a really interesting sort of inversion of the first game if that is the case. But we'll see.
I'm very much looking forward to this. I think it looks great, and it'll be out next year, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the end of the showcase, which I think was not showcase, the state of play, whatever they're calling it this time.
Yeah, don't confuse me, boy.
Yeah. It was fine. I mean, there was about 4 or 5 things in there I was interested in.
They need a showcase.
But,
Sony need a showcase before the end of the year. We need to know what's coming.
I think we do.
At the moment,
I think that's.
I don't think there is anything else.
Yeah.
This is it.
You're trying to sell a £800 console off the back of this. Come on.
Would you like a Days Gone remaster, David, for that 700?
Mate, I'm so sick of remasters at this point. Like it's beyond a joke at this point now, isn't it? I know we always go, oh, it's funny to go, oh, what are all these remasters coming out? What are they going to remaster next? The game that came out last year. But it is getting to that point now where you're going, no, fucking stop taking the piss. Stop taking the piss and bring out a new game, please.
It's expensive though, isn't it?
It is. Apparently it's pricey to make a video game.
Costs a few quid.
Yep.
I mean, I saw somebody, who was it? What podcast was I listening to? I can't remember. There was some podcast I was listening to where they were talking about how this is maybe not terrible for the industry in the sense that it is keeping people employed, by like doing remasters and stuff like that.
Oh, don't try and make me feel guilty.
Yeah.
Why have you got to do that?
Can't believe
David, it's good for people.
Yeah, Dave hates people having jobs.
Developers. Yeah, it's the problem.
Anyway,
they are overrated. Just make my fucking game and shut the fuck up. Stop going onto your Twitter and that. I'm joking. It was a joke. That was a joke, Sean. Sean looked really disappointed in me then. It was a joke, Sean.
No, I know it was
I love
a joke.
Developers.
I just don't know if it works.
It worked. It worked, boy.
Anyway, after the state of play, we had Xbox did their Tokyo Game Show.
The state of Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is there's a whole list.
You can't judge them on this. Can you? You can't judge Xbox
It was
this, can you?
very obviously a smaller but more Japanese focused.
I mean,
and
it's
also the fact that they've got about 12
fine.
people in Japan that have bought their console, so they're not going to put too much effort into this.
Phil Spencer said that gaming on Xbox was up, like massively in Japan.
No, it's not, Phil.
From 3 to 6 players.
It's up 200% because you bought one over there. Come on.
But anyway, I mean, here's I'm not going to go through the whole list because it's basically just tons of RPGs.
There's a lot of JRPG stuff, and there was a lot of things that weren't actually new, right? It was like, here's an Indiana Jones trailer. StarCraft 2 is coming to Game Pass. We all buzzing around
remastered.
That. Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. They've remastered StarCraft. You're happy now? I know you've been really excited about that one.
Yeah,
fuming. Absolutely fuming.
I mean, it kicked off with Metal Gear Solid Delta. They showed that, which seems to still have a 2024 release window as well, but no one knows when.
I still feel weird about that. On the one hand, it makes complete sense. It won't necessarily be bad. Like if you're remaking a game, it doesn't matter that Kojima's not there anymore, right? Or his entourage. But also, it's like this is all Konami can do now, is remake old Metal Gear games because they can't make any new ones because everyone will know that something's missing.
They tried, didn't they? And it was
Oh, what did they do? Was it the online one?
Brought one out.
The online one, yeah.
They brought one out shortly after, didn't they? And it was
wasn't it like actually pretty fun, but just not at all what anyone wants from Metal Gear?
I think it was terrible from
Okay.
what I heard, because it was the whole thing where you had like a stick or something, you had to keep like poking people with it or something. It was very strange.
What?
It was. Have a look. It was a very strange looking game.
Everyone in the chat, it was Survive, Metal Gear Survive. Thank you. Yeah. And apparently it was shit. So there we go.
Okay. Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, Sean's already.
What's the Metacritic? Have a guess on the Metacritic. The Metacritic on that one.
43.
43.
62.
Sean? 62. Right, let's have a look. It got a drum roll, please. Oh, Sean, you are good at this. 60.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, mixed or average based on some critic reviews. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, Sean's already mentioned basically everything that was interesting, I think, or at least interesting to us. That they showed there. I mean, we love Katamari. That's out now.
Yeah, Xbox. It's on. The remaster. Sorry, Dave. Is on Game Pass. And do you know what? I saw that and I was like, I don't think I've got a third playthrough in me. Actually, yes, I fucking have, because I adore that.
Really?
Yeah, God,
really?
Yeah. Well, I can get through it pretty quickly now as well. So.
Okay.
And they put the soundtrack on Spotify as well, so I was listening to that in the car with Isaac. He's fucking loving it.
Cool. David, would you like to play the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster series?
No.
Okay. If you did want to, you could play them now
really
on Xbox,
hoping.
But not on Game Pass, though. You have to buy them.
Can you just say yes for this, please?
But yeah, I mean,
James, we haven't talked about Metaphor Refantasio, have we?
No.
Are you not excited? What is it?
Oh, yeah, no, this is the one that was from the Persona people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is... Sorry, it got lost amongst all of the other millions of RPGs that are coming out. But yeah, this is 11th of October, and it is Persona people, so could be interesting, which would be good.
And apparently they've done that thing where there's a massive demo and progress carries on into the full game, so yeah.
Worth a
look. Cool.
Yeah. So that was it, really. I mean, they announced a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, before the event, I think Tom Warren said, like, are you going to want to watch this? It's going to be big, and I don't know what he was referring to. Like, honestly, from that, because it's You
do wonder if, because maybe when these people say these things, maybe they did know something, or they thought they knew something that either got pulled, or they just happened, they just happened to be incorrect for whatever reason. Yeah. Or do they just say it for a laugh? Do they just say it for a laugh?
Yeah. It could be a bit of money.
A cheeky bit of kickback.
I mean, did you see what Jason Schreier said today? Like about
no.
Xbox? So he was on again another podcast talking about what's going on there, and he said, people talk about Xbox handhelds, they talk about all this stuff. He says, but he's like, honestly, I have no idea what's going on over there. It's a mess. That's what he said. So.
Hold on, I could tweet that.
Yeah, but you're not Jason Schreier, so
No, I'm David Turner. And I will say,
for anyone who wasn't clear.
Should I tweet it? Should I tweet it now? Tweet it now. I have no idea what's going on over at Xbox, and just see if anyone replies. I have no idea what's going on over at Xbox. There you go.
So are we going to see if you get more engagement than Jason Schreier? Yeah.
Oh,
I've already got 2,000 likes.
There you go. There's not much else to read on Twitter now. So. Yeah. Do you know I'm full team Blue Sky again?
I do know that because you posted a link to a Blue Sky message the other day, and I was like,
"Hey man, it's just a Blue Sky link. That social network we're all just on now, right? It's
fine,
Sean.
Normal. But can you next time take a screenshot on your phone and post that into the group instead?
Do you not view it without a account?
No, I just didn't want to press it.
Oh right.
I didn't know it was going to take.
See, again, I tried it again, but there's no one on there. That's the problem.
We see. This is what's fascinating is I have the opposite experience, so I don't know anyone on Threads.
Okay.
Whereas loads of people, because I was like, oh, I wonder what's going on Blue Sky. Oh, fucking hell, it's all these people I miss. So yeah.
Threads.
Anyway,
all right. I've had 2 likes on that tweet, so
banger.
I'm happy with that.
Is it people who are watching this?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's,
okay,
it's 2 people actually watching this.
All right. Anyway, next story is that the Meta Quest 3S is going to launch on the 15th of October.
I mean, who saw this coming?
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. So
Known
it's
about this for fucking ages. We could say that now.
Well, I think everyone has. It's been the worst kept secret for months.
Oh, I've not been on that.
Dave, you just nearly grassed Matt up.
No, I wasn't talking about Matt actually, Sean.
Oh, okay, you're talking about someone else. All right, fine.
Yeah.
One of our other insider mates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to retail for £289 for the 128 gig version and $379 for the 512, and you get Batman Arkham Shadow with it as well. And they're also dropping the price of the Quest 3 to £409 for the 128 gig and $469 for the 512. So that's cool.
You know, right? Okay. So firstly, I've pre-ordered the cheapest version I can get. £280 is a great price point. I've been looking into the reviews, and they're saying it's a very impressive headset for the price. For those of you that want to know where it sits in terms of Meta's lineup, it's bulky compared to the free. It's sort of the bigger headset. It's got all the pass-through stuff, so all the cameras and stuff on the actual outside that the free has, the 3S also has. With the big difference is the 3S has the screens and the lens from the 2. So all the innards are the same as the 3, except for, well, it can't be. Why would they have it bulkier if all the innards are the same? But that was the YouTube video that I watched.
Can you save money by having the same sort of chips, but...
Well, I'm assuming, presumably, then it's the screen and it's the display and the lens that makes it bulky, right? So it's got the display and the lens from the 2. So it just seems like a nice little middle ground, really.
And can I shock you? I think it looks cooler than the proper Quest 3. I really like the little arrangement of the 3. Oh God, I was whacking my microphone. The 3
You
dots.
look like Sam Fisher.
Yeah. I think it looks cool.
Well, here's the thing, right? This probably wouldn't have been pre-ordered if this had been announced 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I went to I had a poker night on Saturday last week with my friends that I used to play Poker Stars with during lockdown, and we were talking about those times. Obviously we're sitting playing poker, and we were talking about the times we were playing Poker Stars and the people we met. Subaru, big shout out to Subaru Steve, who was a guy in his 50s that just really liked Subarus, called himself Subaru Steve, and had a website called I think it was SubaruSteve.com. I don't know if it's still up there, but it was just pictures of Subarus. It looked like a website from the 90s, you know what I mean? It was just pictures of Subarus. And we were talking about all those times, and we were like, man, I'd love to do that again. And then we remembered that our friend, as Chet Roivas, hadn't played Walkabout Mini Golf, and we were like, you don't understand how much you'd love this. And 3 days later, they announced it. So I was like, right, well, the Switch 2's not coming out this year. I could probably afford this at this price point. So I pre-ordered one. It's coming next week, I think.
Amazing. So, we can get back on the golf streams.
100%. I will do golf all day long. Yeah, I will do. I'd love that. Playing Walkabout Mini Golf is one of the top priorities, along with Poker Stars for sure.
We should do another poker stream though. That would be good, because that was.
Hell yeah, I'm up for that. Stuff. That game is fantastic. It's so much fun. So when I was looking at getting a VR headset, like I've got the Quest 1. The Quest 1 is clearly knackered. They don't support it anymore. It is bulky. It barely boots up. The battery lasts like an hour and a half. And I was.
To be fair, that's still about right.
Well, yeah, it's probably about right. But then I never really want to be in VR for more than.
Well, this is it. Yeah.
But more importantly, it just wasn't being supported, and I was logging into Poker Stars, and it was all juddery and broken because it's not made for that anymore.
Yeah. I keep forgetting it's not called Poker Stars anymore, is it? It's Vegas Infinite now.
Yeah, but it's still linked to Poker Stars. I think. It's still it's just like a more expansive gambling thing.
I think because it's just not just poker anymore. I think.
No, it's not just poker. Last time I did it was like, here is your flat. In your flat, you have a roulette table and a thing. But if you go here, here's the whole casino. It's like, fucking hell. And then you go into the casino and it'll be at like 2 frames a second because Quest 1 can't deal with anyone.
Bad news in VR, isn't it? You forget, obviously,
it's
it can be off-putting when a flat screen game stutters, but when it's in VR, it's like, oh, I'm going to be sick immediately.
Exactly. So when I was looking at maybe getting something to jump back into that world, and I saw that it was going to cost me £400. I was like, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
But 280 is a really good price point.
It's a really good price.
Yeah.
That is what the PSVR 2 should probably have launched at, something like that, and they might have had a chance.
I assume you're on. Go on, sorry.
They wouldn't have because the tech is too expensive in it or whatever. But if the PSVR 2 launched at 250, or it was like I was listening. I can't remember who I was listening to. I think it was Nextlander was talking about the Switch 2, and they said, what if the new Switch 2 is as powerful as a PS5, right? Just out of interest. Then we're going, Nintendo will never let that happen. They will not want to sell a console for more than, $350. I think it'd be the maximum they would go at this point, right? So they will just limit all of that stuff so that they can release it at that price point. They won't do anything that's going to take it over that threshold.
It's the price of the console, and I think their niche of not always chasing the high spec stuff has worked out really well for them in terms of development as well.
Yeah,
there was that. Remember, there was a few months ago there was that graph that it was like revenue versus profit, and it was like, yeah, PS5 is raking it in, but there's not a huge margin on it, whereas Nintendo is just saving a shitload of money on development because they're not chasing the high end sort of tech side of things.
Exactly, and it really feels like if Sony wanted VR to be a success on their platform, then they should have gone down the same line. Because if the PSVR 2 wasn't as powerful as it is, but it come out for £250, I think more people would have picked that up, and maybe they could have built something off that. It's crazy, isn't it?
They still could have done that thing that we talked about before as well, where they maybe should have released like a cheap version that was standalone for PSVR 1 games and stuff like that, because it was still pretty good. It was still not that bad, but
yeah.
Crazy. Anyway, so that's coming out soon, and I think that's good.
I take it you're not tempted, James.
Not particularly, not at the moment. Because the thing is I would be, and I may well be once there's more Quest exclusive games that aren't out on PSVR 2. Then like stuff like Walkabout Mini Golf, I can already play.
I was going to say that the fact that Walkabout, it's insane how integral it is that Walkabout Mini Golf is cross-play, right? Because if it wasn't, we'd all be like, no, come on, James, come on, get a Quest.
Yeah.
But the fact like that's the multiplayer game and it's cross-play, so fine. Right.
And like most of the games we play seem to be cross-play, so far. And
they have to be, don't they? They have to be. VR games have to be cross-play. If you want an audience, you've got to, you can't limit it to what headset you've got. It's crazy.
Yeah, totally.
But on the other hand, probably by this time next year, there probably will be more like Quest exclusive games that are never going to come to PSVR 2, because why support that when there's hardly anyone's bought it? It's a thing. Sure. But at the moment, it's fine. Anyway, this is the final story. Yves from Ubisoft has been having a chat about Ubisoft's recent poor performance. So I've got the entire quote here because I thought it would be interesting to go through, because it is quite interesting. So it says, our second quarter performance fell short of our expectations, prompting us to address this swiftly and firmly with an even greater focus on a player-centric gameplay-first approach and an unwavering commitment to the long-term value of our brands. So, this is all to the backdrop of Assassin's Creed, the most recent one being delayed until next year now. It's February, I think, next year instead. This is, although the tangible benefits of the company's transformation are taking longer than anticipated to materialise, we keep on our strategy, focusing on 2 key verticals. Open world adventures and games as a service native experiences, with the objective to drive growth, recurrence, and robust free cash flow generation in our business. In the light of recent challenges, we acknowledge the need for greater efficiency while delighting players. Yeah, they've got to be more efficient. Haven't been very delighting. As a result, beyond the first important short-term actions undertaken, the Executive Committee, under the supervision of the Board of Directors, is launching a review aimed at further improving our execution, notably in this player-centric approach, and accelerating our strategic path towards a higher-performing model to the benefit of our stakeholders and shareholders. But then finally, he says, let me address some of the polarised comments around Ubisoft lately. I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company creating games for the broadest possible audience, and our goal is not to push any specific agenda. We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy. Yeah, so...
Fucking coward.
I mean, it's not like Ubisoft games all were sort of pushing the envelope of any of that of anything anyway at all, and it's just like coming out and saying that. I think it's disappointing, and one of the reasons I think it's disappointing is it means that the people online can probably take that as like a win or whatever.
Yeah,
which is depressing.
He is now responding to the shitheads who like the go woke go broke brigade.
He's
now.
giving them like airtime, which is a thing. Yeah. But then, I mean, it's strange what is going on at Ubisoft, because I mean, if you like, they haven't had many hits recently. It's been it's not been a great year. Outlaws has not done very well. Apparently. And
what kills you about Outlaws is because if it was finished, that game would have done very well.
Didn't they? Wasn't there I'm going to link to it or anything? Wasn't there a news story about they have said like we are committed to sorting Outlaws out, basically?
Fine, but you've missed the launch now.
Well,
you know what I mean.
They have said that they're going to put more into marketing this for like a sort of a Christmas push. As the for that as something maybe people will jump on like around that time.
Feels like a lot of people in the boardroom shrugging. Christmas push.
Yeah.
What did Brian say? Christmas push. Yeah, sure. Christmas push. Let's Christmas push that bad boy.
The old Christmas push.
Yeah. That's what I do after my Christmas dinner.
Everyone banging on the desk.
Yeah.
Push, Christmas push.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's I mean, obviously, as I said, Ubisoft are not doing great at the moment. But then I just wonder whether part of this, I mean, is the Assassin's Creed thing? Are the wheels falling off a bit?
Well, this is it. It's like, as I say, the people who think that Ubisoft's misfortune are down to them, quote, going woke. It's like, no, there's been plenty of other reasons, and a lot of it is the games just haven't been that good, and also and the most successful series are just so fucking long in the tooth now. I don't know if there's anywhere else to go with them. I mean, we've not really talked about the supposed discourse around the new Assassin's Creed because it's a mess, and most of it's just bad faith or
what is it?
Well, so basically the new Assassin's Creed, there's 2 characters, and one's black and one's a woman, so the internet's being the internet about it. But what pisses me off is they're doing the thing of like they're trying to be like, no, you're the racist actually, because I think because it's set in feudal Japan, it should all be Japanese people. Actually, you're being racist about the Japanese because you think it's okay that a black person. Fuck off, man.
But there's historical reasons for it as well.
Exactly, like he was a real historical figure, and I think that is something. That's an interesting thing, and it's worth exploring. And seeing feudal Japan through his eyes, I think, could be really interesting. We should say there is some legitimate stuff. Apparently people noticed there was like Chinese text on signs in the world and stuff, which is obviously a very silly oversight, but maybe it was just placeholder assets they thought people wouldn't notice. I don't know. But yeah, I
don't want to be Mr. Virtuous signaling or whatever, but imagine like being the person that sits there and just get something. I think this actually this should not have a. What's the protagonist? I can't quite get what's going on in your life, mate. If you're sitting there, what is going on there? It's weird, isn't it?
It's so strange.
What a mindset.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting because obviously since Assassin's Creed started, everyone was like, well, they're gonna do one with ninjas in it at some point, right? And it's gonna be fucking awesome. So in a way, people are sort of saying, well, is this like a last ditch attempt to like save Assassin's Creed by doing the thing people have kind of been asking for since day one? I don't know. I'm sure it will be good, but
there was the whole thing as well about obviously with Ghost of Yotei coming as well, and then like they said to like Eve's like, are you worried about this because this is another game set in Japan, looks absolutely beautiful and all that, and he's like, there's enough room for 2 games. It's like I don't know. It's a strange company at the moment, Ubisoft.
It is a strange company, and as we say, they've not had a great run of late.
Well, this is it, isn't
I think there's
it?
plenty of reasons for that.
This is it. Like I look at Ubisoft, and I think show me like all the problems that I've got with them as a company and the history and the stories that have come out of there in recent years. Putting all that to the side, and you shouldn't. I look at their output and just go, show me something exciting for fuck's sake. When was the last time Ubisoft showed me something exciting? The one thing that I will say, they've got to be working on a Rainbow Six Siege, like a new one of those.
Hasn't that quietly been doing fine for ages?
Yeah, it'd be doing fine, but they will have a massive push if they release the new Rainbow Six.
But I know, but knowing Ubisoft, they'll do that and they'll just add it to the same, the cookie cutter open world thing instead. They'll say, look, we've made it open world now.
No, they won't. No, they won't. It'll be very similar to Rainbow Six Siege, but with like better graphics and
because that's what they did to Ghost Recon. It's like they
but they did, but Siege was such a success that I can't see them. Yeah, I can't see it going that way at all.
But there you go.
All right,
that's it. I mean, that's all I got for the news this week. It's not. Yeah, that's it.
It was loads.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah,
there's loads of news. That was all right. Don't put yourself down, James.
We've only got half an hour left.
Thank you.
What have I always told you? You're worth a lot of time, and I love you.
You have value, James.
You have value, mate. You're welcome here.
Means a lot.
Does it?
Yeah.
Good. What you've been playing this week, then? We should get into The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Talk about where's my men in my games anymore. A Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom is a game for the Switch where you play as Zelda for a fucking change. It is isometric viewpoint. Think, what was it? The Link's Awakening.
It's top down, but a bit of an angle.
Yeah,
right?
Link's Awakening remake.
Yeah,
it's done in the same engine, and we've all been playing it. And I will say, oh boy, that game runs like shit.
See, I wouldn't even say that. It's how inconsistent the frame rate is. I think if they just locked it at 30, it would be a lot less offensive to the eyes. But it's not just, we've had Switch games with frame rate issues before. So like, Breath of the Wild, it was like, oh shit, when you go to the Korok Forest, it's really fucking bad or whatever. But that was just one entire area where it was really bad, and you would leave that area and then it'd be mostly fine again. This is like in the space of walking from one side of the screen to the other, it can change frame rate about 3 times. It's fucking unbelievable.
Insane how this game has been put together.
It's like the remake of Link's Awakening was similar as well. That also had technical problems. Like it was also like had frame rate issues. But this is worse, like significantly worse. It also does that other thing that I really hate, which Link's Awakening did as well, where it looks like on certain screens, it's like they've smeared like Vaseline around the edge of the screen.
Oh god, the edges stuff, to make it look. And that works in Link's Awakening because of the story.
Mm.
So we all thought, that's because of the story. Whereas
dream,
here, it's like, no, it's not.
No,
Why are they doing
it's
it
weird
here?
because
it's the way things look, actually.
It's also really inconsistent as well because it appears in some areas but not in others. And obviously it must be for technical reasons, but it's quite off-putting.
And I think I think it looks really nice, but not so nice that you're like, oh well. To be fair, of course, this doesn't run very well on the Switch. Like I think it seems like on the Switch's level graphically. So yeah, the fact that it's so inconsistent is a bit of a shame.
It is a bit of a shame.
That
said, right, okay. That aside, I have done the first dungeon. I am in the desert, which is you get to a point where there's 2 places you can go, and I went straight to the desert. My feeling towards this game so far, and we'll go into the mechanics and the idea and the sort of selling point of it in a bit. I'm playing it and going, okay, I'm doing this, what it's telling me to do. And I'm walking over it. I am feeling what's really weird is that if there's one, like with Zelda games where you're playing as Link, everyone's got a character except for Link. Whereas in this game, Zelda is now in Link's, and there's no. So
Zelda's sort of weirdly nothing.
Zelda, Zelda's weirdly nothing, and Link was weirdly nothing as well. So it's like right now there are 2 nothings in this world of.
I think that's sort of what I found interesting about it, though. Is
okay.
So for those who haven't played, I mean, I wouldn't really call this a spoiler. It's not much of a story, at least certainly. I'm only in the first few hours. As you've probably seen in the trailer, so you start as Link very briefly, do a bit of a dungeon, and then he gets swallowed up and by this void rift, whatever it is, rift, isn't they call them?
They call it a rift.
And then Zelda takes over. But what I found really cool is that you, like, as a player of Zelda games, you're like, all right, I'm going to go and be like, Link's been captured, and everyone's going to go, oh shit, not Link, the guy we all know.
Yeah,
no one knows who he is.
He was just this new,
Link, he was just this new unproven hero. He's clearly like when you do that first bit, he's clearly at the top of his game, but he's just not famous yet. Like there are some characters who are like, yeah, I know, like no, I was helping him. Like fuck, is he?
It's
all
like
right
me, isn't it? I'm clearly at the top of my game. I'm just not famous yet. I'll get there.
Just waiting for you to get swallowed up by a void, and then one of us will.
It's one. I mean, it'll be.
None of you would fucking bother. That's what does me in.
Sorry, James. Come on.
No, David. You'll make it big once you figure out what's going on at Xbox.
I'll figure that out. I will figure that out.
I think what's interesting as well is that because on the one hand you could say, well, it's sort of shit that we only get to be like Zelda's only the main character because Link is out of the picture, right? And is that not a bit shit? Wouldn't it be cool if you just happen to play a Zelda in a world where Link is not out of the picture? However, I do think it's cool that it makes the point that this isn't like a shit Link who fucks up and that's why Zelda has to step in. It's like, no, Link was really cool as well. It's just this is just how it happens to have played out, and he still needs your help. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that aspect of it. There is one aspect of it that I do kind of go that does stick with me a little bit. So for those of you that don't know about this game, yes, you play as Zelda. You don't have combat abilities, at least initially, but we'll try and skirt around any spoilers or whatever. But the idea is that you are discovered by a Navi style companion who follows you around the game, gives you a wand which allows you to clone things within the world. So, I mean, when they first showed this off, it was really fun. It was like, you can use things that you find in the world to get to high areas, attack enemies, to do this. And everything was with a bed.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, that's kind of the go-to thing to spawn.
Because really is, yeah.
You can stack things
beds.
up.
Beds are really useful.
Yeah.
The beds are very useful. And
heal you
the way
as well.
It works...
They do heal you, yeah. Isaac figured that out. I was like, holy shit.
What? If you sleep in them, you heal?
Yeah. Sleep in them, it heals you. Yeah.
It's a bit slow, but...
No, but later on you get a better bed.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got 4 beds now. We'll get to... I mean, there is a problem with... I'm a little bit worried about how many things I'm able to clone at this point, and I'm right at the start of the game, but I'll get to that. So when you first come across an enemy in the game, you're like, well, I can't hit it. I can't do anything. So then I think I chucked a rock at it, and then I cloned it, and I used that thing to attack things. Right?
Army of blobs.
That was what was brilliant, because you're right at the beginning. You're just like, I got nothing. I just chuck rocks. I'm just gonna chuck rocks at them, and it works.
Well, that's how I defeated one of the bosses. Actually, I was distracting him with other enemies, and then just lobbing rocks at him, and it was quite funny.
Did exactly the same thing.
There is part of me that's kind of like, I should be able to just whack the shit out of things with this staff. You know, like it's fun. Like my point is this: I want to be able to attack enemies, right? And I can't directly attack enemies unless they introduce a mechanic where you can, for a limited period of time, attack enemies. And it's kind of like, it's a bit of a cop out in my opinion.
You see, but
very limited though.
What I really like about it though,
annoyingly limited.
See, that's true, and it's the fact that you're not like, you can't directly. Most of the time, you can't really directly like attack stuff. Although later on there are things you can clone which make it feel a lot more like you're actually doing it directly.
Right.
But what's cool about it is I was doing one boss battle actually where it felt like that's the reverse of what it normally is in a game. Like normally it's like you dealing with like a magician or whatever, chucking stuff at you, and you've got to try and like fend it off or whatever. Whereas with this, it's like it's the role reversal, which is
you're the annoying magician,
which is really interesting. Like the fact that you are the annoying magician who's just trying to figure out how to mess with like the person, and I like that. I thought that was quite
absolutely, and I get that. Like, and I have those moments, but my brain can't move away from, why not both? Why not using your spells and your all that sort of stuff to attack in a different way, but also having the ability to attack yourself?
Because I think if you did that, people wouldn't use that stuff.
I disagree. I absolutely disagree. If you've got the opportunity to do that, and if you've set the boss up so that you can only just whack it with a stick, and you can get through it by just whacking it with a stick, I think there are ways to manipulate that stuff or design enemies around the fact that you're trying to encourage people to use stuff that you could spawn into the world, but you also feel that you've got some sort of direct attack. I feel really limited not having that direct attack, and the cop out they do afterwards is kind of like, oh yeah, people will feel a bit shit about how some of these combat areas go down, so let's give them little moments where they can do that and then take it away. And so you just kind of think, okay.
You think that sort of demonstrates they weren't confident enough that the other way is interesting enough?
It feels like a cop out.
Yeah.
It feels like there was a bit where it says you can do this now, and it's so hard to talk around. I'm really sorry if this is really frustrating, but you're making. They wouldn't have done it. Let me put it this way. Okay, no, you know what? Fucking, it's right at the start of the game. Please fast forward like a minute, right? Because I want to talk about it, but I don't want to spoil it if you've not started it yet. So fast forward a minute if you don't want to hear a very minor spoiler from like the first hour of the game. So within the first hour of the game, you get the ability to turn into shadow version of Link, right? And you do that, it's on a little timer, there's a little power bar, and that goes down as you're controlling Link, and you can use your sword, right? And that's how you attack. And there was part of me that was thinking, this wouldn't happen the other way around. If you were Link, you wouldn't have like a time bar to turn into Zelda for a little bit and do a bit of magic, would you?
But then Zelda's abilities are much more involved, right? You couldn't do much in 10 seconds of being Zelda.
That's true, but that's what made it feel like a bit of a cop out. Like, let him be Link for a bit. Oh, go on, let him have a little bit of Link at least. Because come on,
it feels like a bit of a lack of faith in their own.
Oh, really?
Idea, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's what it feels like. Yeah, and that's what's frustrating me. Look, I'm not disliking this game. I'm being quite negative about it, and I'm very early on. And a lot of the reviews and the opinions I've heard is like, no, stick with it. It gets really fucking good, and I plan to. But there is part of me that's going, okay, let's go to the desert again, and then I'm sure I'll go to the water bit and then the lava bit.
I mean, I've got no love for desert bits, so I'm getting it out of the way. But I'm really enjoying this. so
okay.
far.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah, I'm really quite taken with it. I think
What's
music is
grabbed you?
fantastic.
Yeah, the music's great. Yeah,
Really
for
like
sure.
the music. And yeah, I mean, like I'm enjoying like going out of my way to try and solve problems in not necessarily the most obvious way, even though often it will just be like, yeah, just beds. I like the fact that, when you first get the bed and it shows that one bed sort of half hanging off a ledge,
Yeah.
as if to say, look, the physics in this, but you can use it to your advantage. Don't worry about it. So you're getting a lot of use out of the beds, but also like it's really fun. Like watching Isaac do bits I've done and him coming up with like slightly different solutions, or I'll be like, have you tried using the spider? And he's like, oh, why? What does it do? And oh shit. He didn't say, oh shit, he's 6 years old. But yeah, that stuff has so far been really enjoyable. I'm still interested to see whether by hour 10, do you just settle into favorite methods of doing the same stuff? Like
that's what I'm concerned about, because
part of that's still fine for me. I think, like, I still think that you should have your go-to system.
Well, and because of the interface, in a way, I hope that is the case. Because
okay, we'll get to that. But yeah, James, sorry.
That's the other thing, because I mean, I've played it, I think, a bit more than you guys have, and like the amount of like echoes I've got now is ridiculous, and I'm only just past like the desert area. Like I've finished that, onto the next one, and it's like when you're the trouble is that you do have your favorites that you go back to, which you use again and again, but I keep picking up new ones and then just being like, I don't know if I'm going to use this or not. Like, what's this going to do? What's it for, or whatever? And I know I'm supposed to experiment with it, but then the stuff I've got works really well, like often for things, and it's starting to feel like I've got this massive collection of things that I'm probably never gonna like fully explore and see what they can do, which is
it's like I've just really enjoyed the PS4 UI, isn't it? It's like the PS4 UI. When your library got too big, you were like, oh god, I got to scan through a single bar of items to find that one that I want.
I've just been really enjoying things like just being in the overworld and being like, oh shit, there's some enemies. They're all standing in some tall grass. I'm gonna make a little fire guy and then just sit back.
Fire guy's the one.
But you see,
fire guy's good for that.
That is what I'm really liking about this, though, because it does feel like it has that sort of the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom spirit to it, in the sense of like how you really can just experiment and try things out and get to areas that you wouldn't. There's no way you would have been able to do that in like in previous entries, and also a lot of the puzzles feel like very similar, like in sort of thinking and in design, in the best way, in the best way possible. It's funny, particularly after playing Plucky Squire and then playing this, and you're just like, you can have puzzles in games which are, not completely complex and really difficult to understand, but are still very fun to engage with, and that's what this still has. It's still great.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I just guess that none of the puzzles have been more than a do the ability that I've just learnt thing.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, when it teaches you to bind to an object, so other than spawning new objects, you can bind yourself to an object and move it around in the world at the same rate that you're moving, or vice versa. So if you, bind yourself to a moving object, that moves you around as well. But then I went into like a 3-room puzzle area, and all of it was just, I would just bind it to that and move it over to the Switch, and it was like really straightforward. And I was kind of like, I'm just getting through.
But I think it's just building that palette up, though, isn't it? I think over time you'll start.
Sure. It gets more complicated than that as well. Like, it's. I mean, there's nothing that's like, look, there's a key there, and then there's an X on the floor. Dig that up, you get the key, and you can walk through the door. There's nothing like that.
There's nothing like that. Yeah.
Have you seen any of the movement tech that is appearing on Twitter or Blue Sky or Threads? There's people have basically figured out how to fly in this game.
Oh, really?
Like, people are really breaking it already. Yeah. Which in a way they were destined to, but it's just cool seeing the game be that robust.
Yeah, it feels too loose. For the game not to be broken, it's kind of like you can spawn all sorts of shit, and I think it's cool stuff as well. Like every time you come across a new enemy and you go through that sort of like, oh, fuck, this is a bit of a pain in the ass, but once I kill it, I capture
mine,
it, and then I can use it. Yeah.
Tell you what though, Chen absolutely hates the sound of the Red Dead
they can go fuck themselves.
Because they're very useful.
Dudes.
Yeah. They're very good,
I've not
though.
killed one yet.
If you use them, they're
I haven't
excellent
used
in
one
combat.
yet.
And but they make a horrible noise.
And the way so each item that you clone has a value, and it's valued in like triangles. And your little dude that helps you around the world has 3 triangles to start with. So you're basically saying, right, this costs 2, that costs 1. So in this combat situation, I'll keep spawning these. But then you start to, all right, everyone's going try tree. Who gives a shit? It's who gives a shit about its name. So they you can build that up as well. So you get more things to spawn later on, which worries me in terms of frame rate. It worries me. They also have like I'm not so keen on the it's got like ingredients that you build up again. Like it's taken quite a bit from Breath of the Wild.
But now you just make smoothies.
But now you make smoothies, but it's a real long drawn out process.
A bit like, what do women like? Women don't like barbecues. What are women like? Smoothies. So you can have smoothies.
I thought that, but at the same time, it would have been like, well, let's let her cook her health potions, and I thought that would have been equally offensive. It's I don't know. I don't think that this is I don't think this is like a top level game so far. From what
you can tell it's a side piece, right? It's not a Nintendo game. It's a different developer. I think, which isn't to say like, you can sense. Like, I'm not saying it's rubbish. You can tell it's not really Nintendo. It's just
no, absolutely not.
You are playing it like this is not the new Zelda game. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's like it's a side diversion, isn't it, kind of thing. Yeah, which is nice. It's having a game like this is
it's patchwork between the consoles. That's what it is.
But I think
feels like a more interesting one.
Yeah, like for that, I think it's a really fucking good one. What I've played so far. So
yeah, I even if you don't think it's a good one, or like me, I'm a little bit lukewarm on it at the moment. At least you can go, fucking hell, at least they're trying some interesting stuff.
Yeah. At least they've used that sort of side story sort of tier to do something interesting with it.
Absolutely.
You know what they need to do though for the Switch 2? They need to, when they show that, they need to show them playing this game, but with no frame rate problems.
60 FPS. Just like, that'll be it. Yeah. That'll be how they sell it.
Yeah, I'd buy it. That's probably it for now because we're still quite early on. This only come out on Friday, so we're still, quite early on in the game. But we'll be playing more. I'm sure we'll get back to it. No other games on our list other than I've played some more FC25. It's a weird fucking game. I don't know if I like it. Compared to last year's, there seems to be a real problem with lag in input at the moment online, and it's killing me. But more importantly, James, have you played Rush?
No, I haven't touched it yet.
I really want you to play a game of Rush.
Okay.
The commentator on it is one of the weirdest things I've ever experienced in a game. It's so I don't. For starters,
why is it weird? Is it like
right? So just to explain. Rush is the replacement for Volta, and Volta is the replacement for FIFA Street, which was the sort of... They've always tried to do this sort of scaled-down version where it's like 5-a-side, basically, right?
I mean, FIFA Street was like a standalone game as well. Then I think probably no one bought it, and then that's why they just incorporated it.
Yeah, they incorporated it into FIFA, and Volta was like sort of like hey, this is the crazy version, and it would have its own control system, and it'd be mainly focused on tricks. And hey, I'm a street baller. I don't play normal football. I do these tricks and I'm gonna get around you with my street balling. Well, FC25 sort of tones all that stuff down with Rush, which is a 5-side game. It uses the same control as normal FIFA, but I kind of disagree with that. I think there are some modifications there. And the idea is that you team up with 3 other people and you go into a quick 4-minute game of football, 5-a-side or 5 minutes, something like that. James, I just want you to play it for the commentator. Because the commentator says things like, he's kicked the ball out. I suppose it's a good idea. He's go away from the goal. And it was, hey, it's a throw-in now, so now they can use their hands. And it's like, and I'm playing this, right? So I'm playing this with my pro clubs team, because when we haven't got enough players for pro clubs, or we've got exactly 4 players, when actually we're like, should we do a rush instead? Because you build up your points quicker that way. You unlock your skill moves that way. But it's like, let's just do this for a couple of games, and then we'll play proper pro clubs. And I started playing. They'd done it for a few nights in a row, and I hadn't.
Yeah.
And when I started it, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And they went, yeah, you tune it out. You tune it out. Like, I hadn't even noticed it the past few days. And it really is stuff like that. Hey, guess it's a corner kick now. Let's see if they score. Go from here. It really is like you've brought someone in from the office, stuck him in front of football. He's never watched it and gone to commentate over this. It's wild. I'd love to have sat in a room and how have you done? Why have you got to this point? Why has this happened? What's happening here? Like, it's honestly, what was the one that was? It was today. We got a penalty. I was playing like with randoms just to level my character up. We got a penalty, and the guy went, "Oh, what's that, dude? You wouldn't do that in the penalty area." And I was like, it's really, really odd. Watch James play it, because I'd love to see you. You're gonna faint. I know you're gonna faint. So it says FC25 for this week. That's what we've been playing. Let's get to some questions, and then the teddy bear sheets are calling.
If you want to contact us or ask us a question or just say hi, go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS. It feels weird when I do the feedback and then the questions. I just feel I'm repeating myself. I already said that.
Do you want me to do the feedback next time?
Yeah, if you want.
Oh,
well, I think Matt will be back next week. Yeah. Fucking
that's
Matt.
Yeah, stepping up. Go on.
MD Krabuff says, what have you done today to make you feel proud?
What have you done today to make you feel proud? That's quite a significant song in my world, because when I met Jo, she was working for Thomas Cook, and that was Thomas Cook's theme tune.
Nice.
What have you sold a holiday? What have I done to make myself... I have nothing.
No?
It's very rare that I feel... I'm in a low at the moment. I've been 2 weeks of hating myself. And
that's not good.
No, it's not good, but it's dealable. I can deal with it. But what have I done?
Been here before.
Yeah, I've been here before. It's now my first rodeo. But there's nothing. But
I know, I can't do anything. I mean, what? I feel proud that I managed to get through another day. I'm not sure.
Good
still here, aren't I?
James.
Fucking hell.
I'm here, aren't I? That reminds me of my favourite line from Oliver. You know when I've said this before, I must have said this a million times before, because I obsess over it. Who's the bad guy in Oliver?
Bill Sykes or Fagin?
Bill Sykes.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill Sykes. When his wife or his girlfriend turns around and goes, "You do love me, don't you?" And he sits up from bed in his bed and goes, "I'm living with you, ain't I?" I say that to Jo all the time. I say that to Jo all the time. Favourite line ever. Yeah, nothing. I didn't shit myself today. That's good, isn't it?
I've got
at
something.
This age.
I didn't eat the cheese out of the fridge.
Didn't eat the cheese.
That's right, James.
That's
you
growth.
Didn't eat the cheese.
That is growth.
That's personal growth.
That is really growth.
Finished the question section with a bit of acid reflux. Gave everyone a really good cheese fact.
Mm-hmm.
I installed an air stone in our aquarium that you'll hear all about on the next Patreon bonus show.
Just don't ball the fish like I did accidentally. That's
well, we may have had.
Okay, you've already done it. Yeah.
Well, not that, but we've had some problems. We've had some teething problems. There may have been some fatalities.
It's harder than it looks, isn't it?
It's difficult. There's a reason. There's a reason.
They got a beautiful aquarium, and you're like, I want one of those.
There is a reason the man would only sell us the cheap shrimp to start with, because they may die.
Do you know something, Sean? When I was younger, I really wanted to have like a fish, like Captain Picard does in his ready room.
Yeah.
And I tried many, many times, and they all died every single time. It was very sad.
Did you keep getting like walking in his costume? Walked into your bedroom and you're, oh, for fuck's sake, not again. Got dressed and everything.
Yeah, it didn't work out. I always wanted up on those massive cardboard cutouts of Commander Riker as well, but never got
Just
one.
to have.
Yeah, just have
Just
it.
hang out with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be
Pretty
mates.
cool.
Okay.
Lee says, why is it that some people like some games but other people don't like them?
Personal choice, isn't it?
Hey, man, we're all different creatures on this earth as we fly through space on this little ball of rock.
This little blue marble.
Yeah, because some people got good taste and some people haven't.
Some people agree with me, and then there's idiots.
Correct.
That's the.
Isn't it great to live your life thinking that?
Yeah,
isn't it?
Everyone who thinks otherwise
is an idiot.
Is an idiot. They've got it wrong. That's something I've really tried to work on in the last sort of 6 months, is being irritated at people just making decisions that I wouldn't have made. And then just being
stop yourself doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not trying to do it. Yeah, I'm trying to stop myself doing it because it's such a waste of energy.
Trying to do it.
It's just
the one that got me was changing my behaviour in the car. I did this a while ago. I was in my 20s, but it was quite late in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I used to honk. I used to, you're not cutting in front of me, boy. I'm going bumper to bumper with a gun. And then I just thought, but I'm just getting angry all the time in my little car. Like, who gives
zero
a shit?
benefit.
You shot down the other lane and now you want to cut out your front. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, if you must.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
No, I'm the same.
Like, if someone's angry behind me in the car, I love this one. I like this move. If someone's behind me in the car getting angry, right, like, well, I want to drive 40 in this zone or whatever, I pull over and just let them pass and then carry on. It's great. It's great because I know it fucking winds them up as well. He's just let me do that, and he's still right behind me, and we're in traffic now. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just it's not worth it. Where were we? What have we done today? No.
Why do some people like games and other people don't like them?
How did we end up here?
Doesn't matter. It's
It
fine.
really doesn't matter. Yeah, it's fine.
Next question.
Maria Mendieta says, Dear TCGS Contour Lines, I used to own a copy of Pokemon Art Academy for the 3DS, but I got rid of it because not being able to draw a Voltorb's circular body shape was making me miserable. Can art training software be considered a serious tool to learn how to draw, or is it a game genre designed to merely help amateurs fail enough to appreciate the professionals? Keep up the incredible work. Sincerely, Maria.
I don't know. I reckon it can be something that can lead to stuff for people.
It can be a way in, right? Yeah.
Inspiration, isn't it, more than anything else?
Yeah. I think that there's definitely a thing of like, games that sort of act that they're going to teach you a skill. Mm-hmm. It's more like, look, we'll let you think you're doing that for maybe 5 hours and then you'll get bored and wander off. Like, probably someone who got into doing art through Pokemon Art Academy was probably going to get into art anyway, right?
Right.
Whereas someone who's always going to be bad at it was going to wander off.
And not necessarily. You don't know how things influence you, right? Like, so...
Yeah, I guess.
Like, Harry is obsessed with Scratch and which is like the kids coding software.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and what's it? Tinkercad.
Mm-hmm.
And I genuinely don't think he'd be into that stuff as much as if it wasn't for Mario Maker. Like, I can see the connection there.
The way in. Yeah,
that was the inspiration. That was the excitement about creating something, and that led on to there. Do I think he would have still got into it without that? I mean, you'll never know, will you? But I do see a connection there. I
really want to find something for Isaac, because whenever we play something that has like a level editor, he really wants to get involved. But basically, so far it's been like Hot Wheels Unleashed, Fall Guys, stuff like that, and they're too open, so kind of everything he makes doesn't really work. Mm-hmm. Mario Maker's probably the one, right?
Yeah,
because he understands the language.
Mario Maker?
No, because when it came out, he was too young. So I think
you are in for a fucking treat, man.
Yeah,
Have you got a copy?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you are in for a treat. Watching Harry and Charlie play that was genuinely mind blowing for me. And him, you got to try my level. You got to try my level. And 9 times out of 10 it is you just walking left to right, and there's just sound effects going off or whatever. But the excitement of look at what I've made. I have made this thing. Oh my god, that game. Mario Maker is inspirational. I think it is such, and I think as adults when we play it, you don't properly see the benefit. But when I see kids play that game, I see the excitement and that level of, that level of excitement of creation, creating something that they're, as you say, they're familiar with it.
It's a design language they already speak without knowing it. Whereas something like Little Big Planet was so open that it's like, well, I don't know what to.
It was too complicated to make something. Yeah.
So that, because Asher got into, the Game Builder Garage, which
came
out.
Yeah.
And he played it, I think, probably for about two or 3 months, I think, actually, of just creating stuff. And he was having a good time. And I mean, the stuff he was creating was just mad. Just stuff like, here's a shark that is going forwards and then backwards and then it eats you and stuff like that, and just ridiculous stuff. But he was really
just nightmares he's had and stuff, basically.
Yeah. But he really got into it actually after a while, and I was quite surprised because it's quite complicated actually. It's not. It's like Mario Maker, I think, is the best place to start with all of that.
Yeah.
Because it teaches, also that teaches about creating connections between things, and one thing can lead to another and that kind of stuff. And that's entirely what the Game Builder Garage was about. But yeah, he spent quite a long time.
I'd love to know how Isaac gets on with that.
Yeah,
I really would. I think he'd dig it.
Yeah, it just never occurred to me because when it came out, he was. Wait, did he exist then? Yeah, he did. But he was like 2 years old.
Did he exist? Yeah.
Last question comes from Carl W. It's actually mostly not a question, but there is a question at the end. Hello, gents. I've been a listener since around episode 316. Distinctly remember one of the first episodes, including a discussion around James playing a Yakuza game in a booth at a show and conveniently finding himself almost immediately in a brothel roleplay scenario of some type. A year on, and the team are now discussing the new game preview and James's vigorous defense of one's rights to enjoy the titillating aspects of such games. Intrigued to see how original the content now is. I listened to episode 1 today with discussions around the fabled Nintendo NX, a new rumoured console with arguments around leaks, and a new mid-gen refresh of the PlayStation 4, which Dave won't bother with because, quote, what's the point? Funny how things don't change. Well, apart from Dave being very sure that the next Far Cry game was to be set in ancient Rome. Anyway, if you had to choose a game character as your dentist, who would it be?
Oh, shit. Good point. Oh, crap.
I mean, there aren't any actual dentists in video games, right? As far as we know. There must be some, but not any we know of.
There must be. Is there a dentist video game character? It's got to be someone good with their hands.
Yeah.
It's got to be someone who has got sandwich breath. Well, that's got to be
you don't want that.
Yeah.
No, they can't have sandwich breath.
Yeah.
There's obviously that thing. They don't necessarily have to have nice teeth. I always think about that. You heard that story.
That riddle about
You move to a town. There are 2 dentists.
Yeah, the one I know is hairdressers. But yeah.
Oh yeah. But you cut your own hair. Can't give yourself some dentistry.
Really an issue.
For some reason, in my head, I'm thinking Nathan Drake, and I don't know why. And it's probably because he has nice teeth, which goes against what I've just said. But I just think he'd do a really good job.
Yeah. Dracula.
No way! It'd be lunging at your neck.
That's true, yeah.
And you'd have to go at night time. Do you know what I mean? I want to go.
That'd be quite good. Have a night out, and then be like, right, lads. Before I turn in, I'm going to nip to the. I'm going to see.
If you get your teeth done, mate, it's during work hours. Gets you out of work, doesn't it? Gets you out of work, boy.
Just get you out of work.
James, what's up?
Wario. Just get Wario to do it.
He just
He
fucking
would-
shoulder barge your
Yeah,
teeth
you
out.
would
I
shatter
don't want
them
that.
a lot.
Yeah.
Also,
It's
that garlic
fucking-
as well.
I mean,
Not great.
garlic. I mean,
Oh,
it'd
yeah,
only
the
cost you a
garlic.
£5, but
Literally picked the worst possible character to do this.
I mean, Mario was a doctor. Can he be a
True.
dentist?
Yeah, but they'd just be
Do you reckon
chucking
was
pills
he a
in your
qualified doctor though?
Yeah.
Well, hold on, are you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
but not
medical,
real.
but not medical, but yeah.
Not a medical doctor. What about the book from Take Two? Why not? It'd at least cheer you up. Thrusting
cough.
away as he's.
About cough.
Yeah. I haven't got a good answer for this, I don't think.
No, I don't think any of us have. I think that's why we're.
Sonic could do it fast.
Dr. Hakim from It Takes Two.
Isn't that just what Dave just
Are you fucking insane?
said?
No, I'm
James.
joking with you.
Okay.
Oh, I don't think he was,
Is he
Sean.
though? It's hard
I
to
don't
tell.
When you think of all the famous Doctor video game characters, Dr. Robotnik is the only other one I can think of.
Dr. Robotnik was fucking sort your teeth out.
He would do.
Yeah, but he
Dr.
replaced them, wouldn't he,
Karashima?
with something else.
He'd have little animals in them.
Yeah.
No, I think
Dr. Karashima, but it'd be counting them constantly. It's like, all right.
who's the what any of the characters in Trauma Center?
That's it for this week's show.
Yeah, it's probably stopped,
Socials,
shouldn't
James Farley.
Okay. Thank you for listening. As well as the
Brilliant.
podcast.
Again, same thing. I thought he was going to nail it. And he
Oh,
fucked
no, no.
it. Yeah.
As well as the podcast, we also stream on Twitch. And
Do we?
For fucking ages.
No.
James, it's just
so-
you, mate. It's just.
that's what I was going to say. So, watch out for the notifications
Why
when
have
we go
you
live.
stopped, Sean?
It's
Had enough.
can't be bothered.
Yeah.
No, I what I would like to do
That's
is
fair.
do more daytime stuff because I used to find it really helps sort of break up the day. But then if I do an hour stream over lunch, I then need to actually eat something, and then I'm behind on actual work stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, just always knackered in the evenings. Obviously, it's not our primary focus, so I feel like if I had an evening to do show stuff, I'd rather like plan something for a bonus show or something. But we never really get to do that
It's
either.
quite demoralising when you've been podcasting to thousands of people and then you log on to Twitch and there's like 20.
But that's good for
Come on.
Twitch. You know, that's
Yeah,
Well,
but I
anyway.
don't get out of bed for more than 1,000 people.
Despite all what has just been said, watch out for notifications for when we go live. And if if you've got Amazon Prime, then you've got Twitch Prime, and it'd be great if you could subscribe to our channel. We appreciate that. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/tcgs, and you can support the show across a variety of different tiers on there. And finally, we have a website with a store where you can buy T-shirts and all that stuff. And also next week, no, not this week, this week even. On the 2nd, we've got at 9 p.m. We've got the talks over with Ian Lee for Game Stars, the show from
That is gonna
2004.
kick so much arse.
So,
Please come
yeah.
to that. That's going to be the best thing.
I'm really
ever.
looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean,
really
the one we did for Fun Candy was the best. So, all I've seen is the very opening shot of this thing, and it's massive. It's not like a little thing; it's massive. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's
It'll just be nice to
Wednesday,
chat to Ian
the
as well.
2nd.
It's been a while now.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
I feel like Ian in my life has gone from like, oh, I can't believe I got to speak to him once to like, where's Ian? I've not spoken to him for ages. What's going on?
Yeah, he messages me privately now. He doesn't like getting you guys
sorry.
involved.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Can't blame him.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I'm a
Disappointing.
hoot.
but-
Well, all right. Goodbye, everyone. We'll catch you next week. Thank you for living it. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.